being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources that we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Keep it going. Some pillage in the dark, blowing. Hold it down for the Bay, reppin' Oakland.
It's all a fugazi.
And you know the difference between me reading your papers now and me reading your papers 10 years ago is that now I know when I read it. 10 years ago, I didn't know when I read it.
There's no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
Right. All right.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
Carrying a school bag on stage. What do you do with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
No, you ain't the champ. Hey, this is embarrassing. How you gonna do this? Embarrassing. How you gonna do the champ? You go fight more than 4,000 people live. Run more people in training.
40 years old carrying a school bag. The man doesn't even fucking read.
And Dad tried to teach me of my brothers. Never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control. I coined my own definition of success, which is peace of mind, attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable.
What do you both think about fear?
I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. I'm here to live up to mine.
He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.
Fear is a teacher.
And I don't skip class.
What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me?
Hanging around.
Just hanging around.
Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
Hey now. Hey now to you. Yeah. Hey now. Hey now.
Hey now.
Did I just nail the grail?
You just hit the grail.
Did I just nail the grail? Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
Sometimes you're going to hate me for this. I'm going to get flack. Ooh, Perry Saturn. Sometimes you just got to sit back and admire the work. That's a hell of an intro. That intro grows on me every time. It is the Hobby Collision, something we've prepared for over 3 weeks, maybe a month. And all of them, it seems like, will be here. Run Good Life, confirm. Mike Junkwax Hero just posted on his channel. He'll be here. I saw Greg in the chat. What's up, Greg? Troy Trike will be here. Good to see you, Taylor Parker. Fresh Prince, been around since the beginning of the lives. Fresh Prince, I want to end a live with the trivia night coming up. I'm busy with this. I've been busy, but I want to end the live with the trivia night at some point. Not tonight, not this week. But he was playing trivia with us. It was fun. Neo confirmed, myself, here I am. And then Chris Sewell brings the whole show together. So it's 6 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock East Coast. So in an hour. Over the next 50 minutes, they'll start rolling in. We could give them a little introduction. About the 10 minutes before the hour, I'm going to go over the format. So I'll probably go over it here as well, so you can understand what's going to happen tonight. And I'm just going to start the show. Maybe a weird. We got a little snow. My wife's never been so happy to get only one. Hey now, Mike coming in hot. Hopefully, hey, you better stay on fire in an hour then. It's going to be great. I put a lot. They have not seen it yet. The only one there's 2 people that have seen the show, what I'm about to show you. Frank has seen, and Chris Sewell, who's going to run the show. So at the top of the hour, I'm going to turn it over to Chris. I'm going to be a panelist here on my own channel, and we're going to turn it over to Chris. But I am excited because, look, man, you don't go get these big names and then have a dud. So once I went and got people I didn't even know 8 months ago. I have some things I want to sink into myself here in the beginning. But I didn't even know these guys 8 months ago. I watched their channels. I knew of their channels. And here we are 8 months later, and they're all willing to come on the show tonight. So that's incredible. That's exciting. And I took a lot of initiative in creating the format and bringing everything together. And I think it's going to be great. Here is I'll go over. I'm going to do it now, and then I'll go over it again at the top. Closer to game time. But we'll start with the yellow. Each panelist is going to answer a separate question. So they're going to get. It'll be 45 seconds, and the first 2 rounds are on purpose, and I'll take you behind the curtain. I want the viewer to be able to make some decisions, some choices, you get to hear all of us speak a little bit, and all of us will answer the same rapid fire. So Chris is going to just throw rapid fire questions at us that they have to answer, or myself, yes, no, buy, sell. And I want to make another point. I have been so busy with all of this, the lives, work. I don't even remember the damn questions. I have to be honest. I was go, work. The questions were part of it. Boy, did I spend time making sure I picked the right ones. But trust me, my brain is mush. I'm the one communicating with everyone. I worked all day. Anyways, after the rapid fires, when we get into the meat of it, the collision, 4 controversial topics, all 5 guys are going to chime in. The first one will go. And then from there, the goal is, instead of just everyone answering the same question, we have some people responding to each other. The 4th segment, I'm very interested in. I not to toot my own horn, but I thought it was creative and genius. I think maybe it'll, and that's another point I want to make. This is number 1. There will be another hobby collision in 2 or 3 months. And you better believe I'll learn, and I'll see what worked, and I'll see what didn't work, and how we can make it better. Trust me, thoughts and that rapid fire. Hey, Type 2 collectibles, $2. I appreciate that, bro. For us pores, the pores, as Segura would say. The normies, no, anything but that. If you're watching here, you got your anyways, where was I going with this? Interesting early caller. The rapid fire questions, I definitely thought, should everyone have a whiteboard and we all just answer at the same time? Yes, buy, sell. But then that took more work for our guests and just more work. So if panel rapid fire, that's the one I'm like, does people want to hear 5 people doing the same thing? It might work better with us all flashing at once. That sounds funny. But that's how it's going to go tonight. But you better believe I will make this. I will see what happens tonight. And I think it's going to be well done. And we have Chris Sewell running the thing. You couldn't ask for better. So each panelist will take a turn rating a topic we have 1 to 4, the 4 things, right? And then the other, no one ever ranks things the same. So this automatically should spark some agreements and some disagreements. Finally, we'll have the 2-minute warning where they're each going to, I'm not a narcissist, but for this one, I thought it would work best if I was in each, we haven't seen the questions. They haven't seen the questions. So, 30 seconds, they'll go, 30 seconds, I'll go, like a real debate. 30 seconds, they'll rebuttal, 30 seconds, I'll rebuttal. And what we are going to do, the hope is Frank's going to be watching the questions of the night. So if you could come up with a strong question for the panel, and for Chris Sewell, for that matter, Ziggy, no, $5. That's $7. Hey, now that's a double. No onion, light spread, light tomato. They put 2 tomatoes. There's always too much spread. It doesn't bother my stomach. I don't eat till like 9 o'clock at night. But 1-on-1 for 2 minutes. We'll end with the best viewer question. So if you have a question, Frank's going to be paying attention to those questions. We have an early call. Oh, did he leave or is he still down there? He left. He checked the link. Good. Run Good Life had already called in, so he's not down there anymore. But he, RGL doesn't really go out of his, he knows how it is. He knows he's going to get, so, he stays in the comfort zone and that's fine. He has a great community, a great following. And we're very lucky to have RG. It's that or Geo. Not Geo, I love you. And Geo's booked for our second hobby collision if he's available. But Run Good Life it's awesome that he's joining us. It's awesome that we get that insight from a breaker, but someone who people view as honest. And, I don't agree with all the gambling aspects, but he's honest. He's not there pushing. He's not making videos like backyard breaks, buy. He doesn't treat it like it's something disgusting. So I'm looking for
prop.
Hey,
the prop. Dan the Card Man already wants in for the next one.
Dan's
We're not
in.
even done with
Now
the
he was
first
already
one.
on my. So for the next one, yep.
That's it.
No, thank you. So here's how we'll do this. I was going to keep this to myself, but let's put a little pressure on the guys. Hobby Collision 2. Dan the Card Man wants Scotty B kind of confirmed, or he did confirm as long as he's free, and Geo. So here's how we'll do it. I'll be the fourth panelist. Chris is always, if he's a bit, I want Chris to host every time. He's the right guy. So whoever performs best tonight of our panelists, we'll try to get them to be our fifth in the Hobby Collision 2. So it seems like number 2, and that works out great. Panelists revolving. Hopefully everyone from tonight is willing to come back, but the whole goal is to have a different panel, some crossover, some guys coming back. But again, the viewer question tonight, how I want to finish. Jesus. Wednesday, the reason I started late was because, yes, I had a meeting with Mike Mahan. This was presented to me. I took it, and I'm going to talk about this a lot more tomorrow in depth. No, I know Dan the Cardman made a video. We actually talked yesterday for a good half hour. But, it was very interesting. I'm going to be fair. I thought there was some good things I want to be fair about. And then I definitely am going to tell you where the holes were and how I felt after sitting on it. But it was just me and Mahan. That's it for 50 minutes. And I appreciate that time. And I felt like he listened. And I felt like also I didn't always get told the truth, but he's a CEO and there's got to be CEO speak. But we'll do that tomorrow. A little tease for tomorrow. What else am I going to get in tomorrow? This trade night. Yeah. So organic, so beautiful. They're giving out stuff. They're giving free stuff away. This time they got all these, are the athletes there because they want to be there because it's contractual? I'm not sure. Either way, it looks great for Fanatics and Tops. And we'll get into that more tomorrow. Tops Finest headliners. I am a Tops Finest person. I like Tops Finest. As a kid, I was always Finest over everything else. It was my favorite. This does not, I could look at this and never know this is a Finest product. It looks nothing like a Tops Finest. It's missing all what Tops Finest is. So now I don't like this product. I don't like this card. This card is stupid looking. Some people might like the mean mug, the face. I don't think it screams Tops Finest, which is my favorite brand of cards at all. I thought the WWE product, it reminded me more of Finest. I actually like that WWE Finest stuff, but I don't like this. It doesn't remind me of Finest at all. It just looks like another modern hype card. And will it work? I don't know. I got past 2 days, I got 2 things in the mail. So it looks like one is again from Greek Okie, more Garbage Pail stuff. And the other one the other one I'll share now. This guy sent it to me. He said, Professor, as promised, included as my first book as a thank you for entertainment and insight. Like I said, I can almost never make a live show due to work and family. Always the most important, of course. Absolutely. But I always watch the replays. Again, I hope you enjoy and would love some feedback if you ever got around to reading it. I'm actually finishing a book myself. I'd love to get published. I don't want to self-publish. If it comes to that, it comes up. This is like a legit book. Let's see if this is called The Card House. The Card House Addiction Built a House of Cards. Could love rebuild a home? And I'll give, his name's A.W. Solo. I don't know. That's a tough last name, but there's the author. And this is his book he wrote. And, it's about 100-something page. Excuse me. I'm guessing self-published. No hate in that. It's incredibly hard to get published. But that is a goal. 142 pages, big text, easy to read. I'm going to try, bro. I'll see what I will get. I will not only try to read it, I'll give some feedback on the live. But if you do want to send anything, there it is. I'll open Greek Okies another time. So we have baseball card collector investor Chris Sewell coming on to host the thing. It's 6 o'clock / 9 o'clock. We'll turn it over to Chris. He's going to crush it. He's going to do a great job. No pressure. I think I've set him up as well as I can for success. Trike joining in as a panelist, Neo joining in as a panelist, Run Good Life as a panelist, Junk Wax Hero as a panelist, and myself, Professor Sports Card. So we'll get to the hobby closure. I don't want to give a peek of everything else I have beneath. Jesus. Funny. Okay. This is interesting. This is a tease for tomorrow. I'm on fire with figurative language. Here we go. Whatnot. What is going on Whatnot? Can I ask you, what is this doing on Whatnot? And yes, you're wondering, is she selling clothes? Is she selling, I don't know, jerseys, makeup? No. She's selling breaking sports cards. She's selling packs. She's selling the hobby. Single. What is this? A single, a Drake May. So not breaks, not now. Take that back. $11.50. And someone sent me a screenshot of this earlier, and then I happened to find this. I don't know. I feel like we'll talk about this more tomorrow. I don't want to too many funny things. I don't want to blow my load before tomorrow's show. There's a lot to talk about this week, so we'll do that tomorrow. Shohei Ohtani, Michael Jordan, Drake May, Cooper Flag, Kobe, January 2026 leaderboard. I like that GemRate does this. I think it's visual. I think it's easy to see. Sometimes all the data and all the numbers, it's really hard. I'm such a visual person, and there's not everybody is. Especially with social media nowadays and how the kids are growing up. Yeah, everybody's a visual person at this point. Everybody's a visual learner. Or I wouldn't say everyone, we all learn differently, but it's the way everyone, the youth is presented information. Yes, you better believe visually they need visuals. Ohtani, Jordan. So these are the biggest eBay sales, or the highest eBay sales volume in 2026 of January. And I'll give them kudos. I like the visual. This is insane. This is stupid. When people send me, this $20,000 Cooper Flag or $30,000, I think it's really important to remind people, like, the Woody went for $75,000. I mean, if this doesn't, it's not just your guy that you think's the guy, or Griffey, or who you think. It's all ridiculous. Someone paid $75,000. This card in the long run will, and again, you look at history, go look at autographs that are very rare of old actors that are very, very famous. Oh, Toy Story will live on forever. I teach a lot of these kids still haven't seen Toy Story. They're watching Scream. I'm telling you, it's amazing how the horror movies have become okay for the kids. It's what's happened here. I've taught at multiple schools, multiple demographics. It is Vegas, I'll give you that, but they're all watching the horror films. Anyways, not only this one, but then you have, who is this? Plankton, sold for $17,400. This is not an autograph of Tom Hanks. And so again, you want to think it's just your card. You all want to justify the reason why certain players are doing what they're doing. Oh, the nostalgia. Oh, it's a unique card. Oh, it's serial. Oh, it's rare. Oh, it's an important card. Well, just how important is this card? Really? I mean, I'm not trying. I know I'm okay. I'm sending a warning, or I'm being bleak, or I'm a hater, or I'm negative. I'm just trying to, make some observations. And when I see this card sell for $75,000 and this one sell for $17,000 and every Luffy card selling for $10,000 to $20,000, and you think your Jordan or Griffey is special for some reason, or your Luka, Luka better win some titles here. He's not exactly getting any younger. The Lakers better make a move. They're going to have a lot of money in the offseason. And the last one I'll show you, who do we got from on, again, things this volatile, and economics major knows better. $1,100 sold on December 1st. And in 2.5 months, it goes up to $1,600. What is happening? Do people just not look at comps or care about comps? I don't agree with this. And I the other thing, who cares if I agree? Just know Patrick and Squidward and SpongeBob and Woody, your athletes are not the issue right now. It's the stupid hobby in the market. It's not the hobby, it's the industry. And in 2026, it's the industry versus the hobby. And this is all industry BS. Who in their right mind with that much money is paying $75,000 for this? People with money are not in the business to make foolish buys. It seems foolish to me. Good luck. There is absolutely no precedent. There's absolutely no history that says you should be spending $75,000 on this card. None. By the way, a card I like a lot, if you could find it, I have one. I bought it for $200. Don't love the auto on it, but it's a Dana White autograph rookie. Obviously, the autographs after the fact. There's very few of them. It's very hard to find. That's why I bought it when I did, because I didn't love the auto. I didn't love the autos. Some is not as good as the other autos, but it's the only one out there. It cost me a couple hundred. Maybe it's more now. But that's an auto. If this one costs $75,000, I'm gonna tell you what. Dana White is actually in the bit. You know, he's in sports. He revolutionized UFC. Some people seeing a downfall here. I like that card. What do I know? I know nothing. But you could also go spend $17,000 and make sure to have this cartoon character in your collection. And it's not even SpongeBob, Squidward, or Patrick. Genius. Just genius. And then, you know, One Piece, that Dodger card that they did, that Luffy card, I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000. I remember when it came out, I was seeing posts in the groups I belong to. I'll pay anyone $500 for theirs. And so, you know, they're going to continue with what they're doing. And now they're going to the Mariners, announced for March. They'll be with the Red Sox, announced for May. If you live in that area and can get a ticket to the game that gets you one of these cards, but the tickets are going to be damn expensive if you get them on the secondary market. So maybe it won't pay for the ticket by a lot and have a great time and you'll have this card. But I assume the secondary market, these tickets are going to be outrageous. In about 10 minutes, the panelists are going to start calling in. I said between 5:30 to 5:50. We'll start having them roll in. At 5:50 to 6, I'll go over the format again, and then I'll turn it over to Chris. And this thing is well prepared. I put a lot of energy, love, time. I'm not going to fail the assignment. I went out. I got the big boys here. Funny to say, I got the big dogs, and I wasn't gonna fail the assignment at this point. And I know you're gonna give me a minute to go on a little rant. And I was debating before the beginning of the show if I wanted to do this. And fuck it, why not? Roast me if you want, find it endearing, find it chill, find it how you want. But I'm going to speak from the heart for a minute. I grew up with nothing. All right. Parents got divorced. I moved around. I had 3 stepbrothers at some point. My stepdad overdosed on meth. He had a heart attack when I was 21. So I could tell you something about my stepdad and growing up. At 13 years old, I got ulcerative colitis. I wore an ileostomy bag in high school. And you know what? I didn't let it define my fucking life. And I went out and I ran the San Francisco Marathon twice, where I had 3 surgeries. I ran that bitch twice. I'll never do it again. It's really bad on your knees. And then when I was done with running at 27 years old. I went into a boxing gym at Santa Ana. And for a decade, I decided I was going to put my heart and soul, just like how you run a marathon. There's no pretending. You do it every damn day. And so I went to that gym. I did it every day. And then I realized, bro, I'm going to be a broke, dumb mind. I went back and got a master's in education. And I did not let that weird upbringing, which many of you had, and I know many of you relate to being ill or being sick. Dave Snyder's had some problems. Orlando's had some problems. And you know what? It feels so good to be able to share and give back to you. Because I know when I was sick as a kid, Kobe, Shaq, Barry Bonds, all I could do was watch sports. That's it. And those players mean so much more than a card or a sport. The whole thing is so much bigger than what's happening here, or even what sports have become. I have this slide prepared either here or tomorrow. The NBA is disgusting, the amount of money they make. Disgusting. And the product, they should be ashamed of the product they put out. I put more heart and love into this product tonight than they do every damn night that's not the playoffs. And they're making disgusting money and they don't give a shit. And I'm just going on. And now I did this show 3 years, no fucking views, no nothing. I knew none of these people 8 months ago. And here we are 8 months later on a live that keeps growing, that I keep giving awesome feedback about, that's fun as hell. I keep meeting more people. The community keeps growing. And you know what? I have a mission. The mission is a decade. Do it for a decade. See where it takes you. So this is just still in the infancy, and I will continue to learn and try and be respectful to those. Even if I don't agree with what the fuck they're doing, I'll be respectful to a few of them who don't respond or don't want anything to do with me. They don't really deserve some respect. And we could name names. Jeff is one. You know, Card Collector 2 hates me. Let's put it out there. Card collector too, as he should. But I've reached out. I've tried to chat. No response. He's too important. Too big for me. Too important. So anyways, I don't know. That's my little rant. Whatever it is, it was just genuine from the heart. That's how I feel. I get to teach students. I don't eat. I haven't ate today. I won't eat until 8 or 9 o'clock at night because I intermittent fast. Because if I eat during the day, I'm effed. I can't get through my day. So big deal. Who the hell cares? It's not. I haven't even been looking at chat because I don't even want to. But I'm sharing with you because this is exciting, man. Tonight is cool. Tonight is 4 months ago, I got to talk with Beckett before the whole Beckett thing. 3 months ago, P. Ryan offered me 10 grand to be his consultant. I did not take it. Last week, I got to meet with the CEO of Fanatics. I got to meet Dan the Cardman and chat with Dan the Cardman a bunch. Trike, Junk Wax Hero, RGL is a good dude. I don't know. I can't tell you from anything else other than the real conversations me and that dude's had. You know what? I hope nothing ever. I hope you don't prove anybody wrong because a lot of people really love RGL, and I'll tell you what, it's reciprocated. I had a good, honest home. He's a homie, and hey, I'll clip it. And you know I don't like breaks. You know I'm not for breaks. He's not sitting there pumping it like others. And then there's Neo. Neo's still an oddball. Someone in the chat today, what's Neo doing in your video? He said he hated you. There was a time Neo really did not like me. He came in here. I think we converted a little. He's more, this way, middle. I don't know. Who the hell knows? Dustin does a video with fucking Ken Golden today. Calls himself Joe Rogan. Don't you, Dustin, where is the Ken Golden is everywhere right now, is enemy number one. I don't understand the logic to your madness there. I don't get it. Enemy number one, unless it's roast, fight, what are we doing? Joe Rogan. Oh my goodness. All right. I think I did a pretty good job. I wanted to hold the first half hour until guys started coming in. So I've got some teases for tomorrow. This is going on what night? Mike Petty called it. What do you call it? Yep. Well, Mike Petty, they might have took your idea. So Woody, we got the One Piece. What else do we got? When you sent your order to PSA December 24th, 2025, it was worth $50K. This is from your boy that sold his sports cards for One Piece cards. When you receive your order back February 20th, it's worth $12,500. So first of all, it tells you a little bit about One Piece. When the cards first come out, those cards are big value. They drop as they come out, as the other sets come out, just pretty much. I think that's standard in cards at the moment. When your next big rookie comes out, when your next big player comes out, you're going to forget who Con Knipple is. You're going to forget who Cooper Flag is. By the way, it's getting closer to March Madness and the conference tournaments, and I love the conference tournaments. So I did a little digging and research. We have not had there's that 1996 draft class that's so deep. It's not just the stars, it is deep. The 2003 draft class, also a lot of stars and some depth. I feel like we haven't had a draft class like that in a while. There is a very good chance, and if some of you are college basketball fans in the chat, I don't watch most of the season until about time. NFL's over, and I get into it. But it's deep. There's some really, really great players coming into the draft this year. So this has a chance to be one of those draft classes. I'm not saying it will, but we're due. We haven't had one of those type of classes in a long while. So I can see that working out. In a few minutes here, we're going to throw on some of our guests. I don't think we need to get to that. I've been wanting to watch this. I'm going to save it at some point for a live, and we'll give Chris Sewell a shout out. I still have not seen it. It just seems like a Professor Sports Card thing to watch with you. 4 things that annoy me about the hobby. And I'm dying to know what annoys Chris Sewell about the hobby. It's 11 minutes. I still have not watched it. We'll do that on a live either tomorrow, Wednesday, or coming up. First to check in, here we go. Let's throw our first panelist up. Before I do that, let's do it now. We'll throw our first panelist up over the next few minutes, next 20 minutes. They'll all roll in. Mr. Mike Junkwax Hero, how you doing? Uh-oh, you're muted. I cannot hear you. Maybe it's my headphones. Oh, I cannot hear you. Anybody hear Mike? I cannot hear Mike. I'm glad he called in early. We'll figure it out. Skip the collision and bring on Blue Red. Blue Red. Somebody did something really nice for Blue Red. I'm not going to say anything until it's received, but someone did something very kind for our boy Blue Red. And we hear you now.
All right. Sorry about that. So I just want to be clear about the Dustin thing. Do you not think he should have had Ken Golden on?
A, yes, maybe so right now with how bad it's been. And B, if you're going to have him on, I think you really got to roast him.
So Ken also emailed me and he asked to come on my podcast on Sports Card Clubhouse. And I said, I'd love to have you on. I would have on any big person, but they also need to be aware that I'm not going to just go easy on them. And I think Dustin, I've watched the first like 40 minutes. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I thought that Ken kind of answered the difficult questions himself about the situation from last week. And that's what I'd want to focus on. I would ask some difficult, I have about.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And this is on, like, I'm genuine. And I think this is a good question to ask is at what point you guys are just providing him PR. He's going to, and I understand he's going to answer the hard question. So it's a good get. If I got, sure, maybe I would do it as well. I wasn't presented with that and I don't know. And I don't see how you turn it down. It's hard to turn down, but he is coming on doing, damage
I've turned
control.
Ken down before. I've turned Ken asked me to come on my channel 2 years ago when eBay bought them. And it was, basically he wanted to do a press tour. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. But this is a lot more interesting to me. This is kind of, he's opened himself up to questions about the things.
So are you going to ask him about, we don't understand the business?
Yeah, about we're too poor. Also, like, I think you said it. Why does he care what we think? Why is this so important to him? He's reaching out to Dan the Cardman. He's reaching out to Dustin, to me. Why didn't he reach out to Neo? Poor Neo. He's got to feel left out.
Neo. At the end of the year, Golden reached out to me kind of like, why are you hating? You don't like I built a big business. It didn't go much further than that, but he definitely, and the whole thing with Sports Card Radio, he definitely lets it get to him. Like it's for years. It definitely gets to him.
Ziggy is Dustin's biggest hater. I have to think he's his biggest hater. And he says it was a good interview and Ken did address everything. Dusty was okay. Yeah, I thought it was the first 40 minutes of what the part I got so far. I thought it was good. Dustin would ask a question and then he got out of the way, which is the best thing to do.
It's just how many some of his videos have been crushing right now.
He's killing it. These new AI.
But my question is does and I'm guessing yours will do great. I will do fine. But did the audience even want to see it? Ken Golden is enemy number. Like people, the Pokemon community, is he going on? Are they letting him on theirs? Like people really are upset with Golden, especially that community. Way more. I try to put that story here. And my viewership, we're sports and I think they're over it and it's so out there. I leaned away from it because it just didn't seem like my viewership was all that interested, even if Golden was involved. But that Pokemon community is up in arms.
Yeah, as they should be. I think we can all understand that not only the thing he said, but I thought the part that I heard Ken addressed today on the Dustin video was that had been a 10 for decades, which has not been the message I have heard. So I'd want to look into it a little bit.
Same. I didn't hear that either.
I had heard that it turned into a 10 pretty recently. So I'd want to dig into that a little bit more.
Not decades.
Right. He was saying that the guy sold it in 2015 and he had owned it for 10 years. So from 2005, and it was a 10 when he bought it in 2005.
The other one that he mentioned, which is like, of course, is he said he did let Logan Paul know that the card was regraded before they actually did that whole thing. And that's all of it. All of it is planned and rehearsed and staged. It's not, none of it is, their stupid reaction when they pulled a Bird Magic card. They knew they were going to pull that card in a 9. It doesn't pay for anyone's, like, these guys are multi-millionaires. What do they give a shit? It's just for optics to sell more product.
And he even dropped the dude's name, Cornette. During the I thought that was kind of interview. Like he talked about the prior owner. Yeah. I know you're on a roll. Please do the 20-second clip that I clipped. I'm telling you, it is hilarious.
Well, I mean, I got a million. That'll be tomorrow.
I know you do. Man, it's so good. It's the best 20 seconds on YouTube right now.
20. Okay, the best 20 seconds tomorrow.
I'm telling you. All right.
We'll trade Frank, and we'll do. This has to be done. Give me 1 second.
I believe in Joe Head and Dre.
And now,
What's up, Professor?
That's insane. That is Art James. How you doing? Run Good Life. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a busy Monday. I've been up since like 8 a.m. I woke up and I couldn't sleep because we had so much to do. So, team is finishing up JML. My wife are finishing up shipping all of our breaks from last week, and yeah, just been listening in. You said something at the beginning. You said that whoever's the most like the best panelist tonight gets to come back. So I'm just gonna fully let you know I'm in the Sacramento Kings tank top tonight. So I'm
Don't
trying to finish
tank,
fourth. So no.
but here's the deal.
No
Here's the
tanking
deal.
allegations. I just want to
We
finish a nice
have-
solid third or fourth tonight.
Gio will be the breaker next time. So no, do not tank. Give your all, but we won't. We have. Yeah, don't tank though. Can you believe that the Kings? They're not just the Kings. It's such a shit show. The NBA. Sabonis and who else? Didn't they sit two
We got
guys
Russell
now?
Westbrook on that team.
But didn't they rest? They're resting two guys for the rest of the season. It was Sabonis and I thought someone else they shut down for the rest of the year.
Hey, Sacramento, the Kings could have been the Sonics. We tried to get them, so it wouldn't be tanking if they were up here.
Utah's the team that's really tanking though, where they're just shutting down. They're leading.
That's another one. That's another. There's a few teams that are doing this.
Utah angers me because they're a good team on paper. They have way too much talent to be.
They shut down
as many
Jackson
losses
right
as they
after
have.
they traded for him.
Yeah, agreed.
RJL, your lighting looks excellent. I also want to say the last time we talked, you kind of laid out it was just after Mariners lost in a terrible way. And I heard it was a great story, but you got a Seahawks Super Bowl. So does that make up for the devastation?
So no, because we've already had a Seahawks Super Bowl. I've been a baseball fan since like I was 5 years old. Football came later. Like when I figured out what fantasy sports was, that's when football started getting cool. I've been a Mariners fan since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Griffey was the coolest thing in the world to me. So it's weird to it felt so bad in October not getting a World Series, and then like a few months later getting a Super Bowl. It's like kind of feels like a consolation because I didn't even think that this team was good. I thought it was going to be a Rams-Bills Super Bowl.
They
this
got
year.
better and better, like Canelo every fight. They got better and better as the season went on, it felt like.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could go back to one of my original streams and saying like, hey, we were going to be like 10-7, like at best. Like that's what I thought this team was going to be. I didn't even have them pegged as more than a wild card team.
Sorry.
Knocking off team after team after team and just decisively, just stomp the Niners, stomp the Rams.
Hey, stomp is a
win the
strong
Super Bowl
word.
in San Francisco. Yeah, that was a good win.
The Rams gave you some great games. Those were really good games. That was it. My grandfather was a Rams season ticket holder, so they're kind of a second team of mine. And they dropped the ball there. Those were great games all year.
Yeah, that one where they should have won that. I think it was the second game where they kicked like 4 field goals and they turned it over 4 times and they only lost by 3 points.
That's right.
I was like, well, we get to see him again at least one more time. So,
hey, RJL and Mike Junkwax Hero come, and I got $10. So thank you to Taylor Parker, and thank you guys for saying yes tonight. Let's throw on our next. Let's do this. Mr. Neo, how we doing?
What's up, boys?
Are you okay? Frank asked you a question last week. Do you have it in you tonight?
You have to bring it out of me.
Oh, okay.
That's your job.
All right. What did you think of Dustin's interview, or you have not watched it?
I listened to it this morning. It was what I expected it to be. I mean, he asked all the questions that you would expect someone to ask, and Ken answered them. People might not like the answers, but Ken answered them. So, yeah, I thought it was fine.
You're poor.
Oh, I haven't seen this yet. So Sports Card Dad interviewed Ken Golden.
Yeah, for like an hour.
Did Golden sponsor
like an
the
hour
episode?
and 20 minutes? Golden is not paying for the
I don't
interview.
think so. I mean, Dustin didn't disclose that he did, which
So full disclosure, I love Dustin. I'm gonna watch that probably after this ends.
Hey now,
it's pretty solid. Like there's probably like 45 minutes of like back and forth of what people would want, and then the last 15 to 30 is more like not related to the recent controversy.
I mean, at this
Just like
point,
old
can he
school
say
stuff.
anything that walks back what he like? I don't give a shit what.
I
he-
mean, the guy said something stupid. He apologized. Like, I mean, I gave him shit for it. And as someone that talks into a live microphone, at some point in time, I'm probably going to say something stupid and have to apologize for it. It's just the math. Like, we all do this for a living at some point in time.
You were such an apologist for everybody, for the industry.
That's just how I see it, man. At one point in time, you're going to say
At
something.
some point, we think. At some point, the optics are. It's not just what you think. It's there's a little in with these guys.
I have no in with Ken didn't DM me.
How about collectors?
I have relationships with collectors.
Oh, this is awkward already. I love it. I love it. You better be
Wait,
bringing
this
back.
coming from the guy that's now a mouthpiece for Fanatics.
Can you believe that? Definitely not a mouthpiece. I'll be fair tomorrow. There was some things I thought okay, and there are some things I felt nah.
They opened the door to the big boy club. They said, "Come on in."
How much can I buy your case of Finest Delight for, Professor?
Hey, Jason. So the way this works, so a lot of companies will come to you and say, hey, we'd like to sponsor you. You can say whatever you want about us. Doesn't matter. You can be critical of us. But what you're worried about is that money train ending, right? And that's why I would never take money from companies that I want to be critical of. And when they open that door, when Fanatics opens that door to you, you become part of that club.
No
And
bag
it's
was offered. No, nothing
no,
was
I'm
offered.
not saying money was offered to you. I'm saying that they have now opened the door to the club, and
I'm
you're
not
gonna-
trying to be in that club.
Okay.
Trust me, I had a conflict for 3 weeks before this damn thing, just weighing on my soul. And I shouldn't say anything now. They know all my thoughts after tomorrow, but it's a chess game. But yeah, man, what do I want with that club? Am I wrong? I don't know. You guys are always. Should I eat those words? Should I shut up? Do I want in that club? I don't know. I don't think.
I mean, I'll hit you with the thing I always hit you with. There's 4 people on this screen. I believe only one is paid by Nat Turner.
No, it's by card ladder. I get paid by card ladder. All right, let's throw on our next panel.
I pay for Card Ladder, so I am paying for Professor Sports.
Hey, now that's my life. If you want a
free
month
Card Ladder
free,
account.
it's Prof, PROF, a month free. And now
Pump it.
you guys are bringing in me money tonight. I appreciate it. Mr. Selma Hayek, $5. Thank you, sir. This is crazy. Gentlemen, I want to say something before. I don't think it's going to get too dirty, but guys, thank you for doing this. This is going to be a ton of fun. I put a lot of effort. It's really going to be fun. Let's throw on our next. Let's give them,
Yeah, let's do it when I feel real good.
Mr. Chris Sewell, the host of tonight. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys?
You entered the room and we just hit 200. So, thanks for being here. Yes, sir.
I missed it. What's the Fanatics thing?
Oh, I had a meeting with Mahan last week. I'll talk about it more tomorrow in the live, but
okay.
They're giving me trash. Now, I'll be honest and fair tomorrow, but we'll do it. I'll talk about it more tomorrow.
Okay. Is the trash deserved?
So, I am paid on this panel by Chris Sewell because just a couple days ago, I flipped a Josh Beckett Heritage Black Refractor he listed on ComC from $10 up to $18. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Heritage Black Refractors are I'll buy any player at under $10. I love Black Refractors from Heritage.
I had that priced at $10. What was I doing?
I sold it for 18. I was I want to price it at 30.
Oh boy.
Wait, you flip it on ComC?
Yeah. I just give it a new price.
Oh, well done. That's
I would like to shout out my baseball sorter Jeezy, who loves you, except his name or your name to him is Seawall, always and forever.
That's how it's spelled. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is this the first time we've met?
This is the first time you and I have ever interacted outside of comment sections. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's great to meet you, man.
Yeah. You too.
This is the first time me and Run Good Life have ever met either.
Yeah. Me and Gio have just exchanged some DMs, but yeah, we've never been on a podcast or anything. I want to be on your podcast, though. FYI. I'm open to doing that one now. I apparently I big timed you a couple years ago. Sorry about that.
Me? Or wait, are you confusing me with Gio?
Yeah. Ignore me. I'm on 2 hours sleep.
Oh,
Ignore me. I'm on 2 hours sleep.
Hey, all right.
Ignore me. I'm on 2 hours
Let it
sleep.
begin. You better. That's so fun.
All
I
right.
love that.
Geo, Neo,
Made
potato,
my
potato.
night. Oh God, I love that.
I've listened. Oh, Neil, I've listened to your literally every last 10, 20 videos Watch them all. Love your
Yeah,
takes.
listen, 'cause he won't
I've
shut
never
up.
seen
He
your
does comment
face.
all the time.
I've
I know
never
he
seen-
watches me,
I've
so
never
that's
seen
not
your
a lie.
face, and truthfully, I've only seen Gio a couple of times. So
Okay.
that was me.
You
And
might
your
look
name's
right
Neo,
over
right?
him.
I'm
I'm gonna file that one away
Sorry,
for
Gio.
later.
I'm shorter.
Neo's the
shorter.
better one.
Why does Gio get so much hate on his height? Does he take it personal? I don't get it. He gets so
Yeah,
much
he does.
comments towards his height.
He takes it personal. That's why.
Gio, you're in that next collision. You better be. I hope so. What do we got? Another panelist down here. We'll start in about 5 minutes. We'll go over the format, and then you'll see, guys. It should go great. We have our next panelist. Chris is going to do a great job. And Mr. Whole gang is here, I think. Troy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. Thanks for having me on.
So one thing I just want to go back to, it's like, guys, you're flattering me here. The first time some of you guys have met is right here on the collision. So, don't let my head get too big, but that was really neat to hear. Chris is going to run this thing. I want to start it at 6. So we got about 15 minutes to kill. Trike, I'm going to ask the same question I asked to Neo. Do you got it tonight? Or are you going to bring some heat?
I'm ready. I'm ready to debate. Chris knows I love to play devil's advocate at times too. So whatever the show needs, let's do it.
Let me give a quick Troy story because we were at the Toronto Card Show. We were on a, what are they called? We were doing the live talk, the live interviews together, and we were getting lobbed softball questions like, "What's your favorite card?" or and Troy, at one point, like bends down to me, he's, "Dude, I gotta bring some controversy here. I'm just the next question. I'm just gonna go nuts with it." He tried, but it was
the crowd didn't really engage with it, but we gave
no
it our best effort.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a little Woody Woodpecker down there. Don't let him know. Yeah,
Chris, while you're there, how are you feeling? Because I think me and Frank presented a lot to you. I tried to make it to where it's easiest on you, but how do you feel for tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm ready. I guess I've read through the questions. They're good.
I can tell Chris is kind of hurting from the influencer ratings that came out earlier today from Sports Card Radio. I was higher than Chris, and so obviously I had to text him and say, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I missed that. That they really. What did they? They did.
I saw the breaker ratings, but I didn't realize they also came out with an influencer ratings.
Yeah, 135, I think, influencers.
I believe I'm last of the 6 people here. I think I was last.
Really?
Yeah.
It's deeply flawed when I'm above Chris Sewell.
Chris is number 1, right? I mean, come on now.
No, it's because I'm only YouTube. I don't do anything else. It wasn't a YouTube ranking. It was like an influencer ranking.
Yeah.
I have a video on my channel called "I'm Not an Influencer," so I think I'm disqualified, right?
You're number 22 on the list. I'll have you know. You're the highest.
Hey now!
Holy shit!
Wow.
I'm not even trying. I
feel like I need to get this up. What is it?
You're higher than Beckett. Beckett's 23rd. You're 22.
Wait a minute. Beckett's 23rd.
Yep.
Okay,
you were talking Dr. Beckett, right?
No, Beckett the company.
Oh,
what?
Well then, that
this list
changes
is flawed
things.
because Dr. Beckett would be like top 20 for me.
After all the stuff he said, get out.
I was gonna say maybe 6 months ago.
Okay. In fairness, I haven't listened to anything he's probably said for the last 6 months, so I'm just gonna pretend none of that happened.
You missed a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I've met Jim in person. I've had wonderful conversations with him at the National. I know he's been involved in some controversy and said some things about the defensive shielding or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seems so out of character for the in-person conversations I've had with him.
Professor is 47th, slightly below Mama Breaks.
Oh, hey now. Okay. 40. I made a list. Here we are. Top 50.
You beat out Dan. Dan the Cardman's 52nd.
Okay, I want to go to, but what's the whole list here? Where if Chris should be number ahead of everybody, so let's just be honest. But what is this list? Where is everybody else?
I'm DMing it to you now on your IG.
Oh, okay.
Hobby Champs says they just ran everything through AI. It's completely meaningless, which is probably
I noticed that. I noticed that with the breaking thing too. It was very AI generated. But sorry,
the breaking thing actually seems to be pretty accurate based off people that I talked to.
If it's accurate, it was still written. Definitely not that everyone's not writing with AI.
The numbers I think are legit.
I read that. It seems like they pulled some data off the back end of Fanatics Labs.
It did.
Yeah, they scraped something.
Oh, hobby influencer power rankings. Holy hell. I just saw the Breaker one. This is exciting. SCR. This seemed the other thing. We'll just talk about it. Big deal. You don't want anyone talking about them, but this seemed out of like left field for them coming out with the Fanatics thing. And then that seemed, it definitely seemed off brand. Good for them. I'm not hating it. Just, oh my God. All right.
It's your 3 favorite people at the top.
4, 5.
Yeah.
6.
6. 8 too. Well, 7 you're really tight with, but besides that,
7 he's paid for.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I can't stand the top 11. Talon, Santiago, Filth Bomb. Where's the first sport? RGL there.
What? I'm not even trying.
You just blow right by Geo.
Yeah, this is come on. I guess he has the podcast. That's fair. And 52,000 Instagram followers. What are these metrics on? Run Good Life. Beckett as a company. RGL, you beat Beckett, but you did not beat Sports Card Nonsense. How do you feel?
I wasn't even trying, honestly. Maybe if I put some effort, I can get into that top 10.
Trike, top 25 Trike. You beat Tom Brady Card Vault.
Just barely.
Wow.
I'm moving up slowly but surely.
You beat Roth Cards. God damn you, Roth Cards. Oh God, Neo 32. You beat Steel City.
Oh man, I don't want to take shots. I said I wasn't going to take shots. Mojo Sports seems like everything he does is to try to be number 1 on this list. How is he like 30?
So you're saying where you don't try, he tries hard, and you're still way ahead.
Yeah.
Hey now.
I'm curious what the criteria was, because it's obviously not like just based on followers or whatever. Like there's something else going into here, which is interesting.
It's got to be like
it says at the bottom that it was
views and
run through
engagement.
some
They probably
AI
scraped.
algorithm.
They probably scraped like Twitter views and comments and stuff like that.
American Arbitrage 61. Loot Box kind of quit. Shine 150 64. That's
Maybe
not a
they
good
use
thing.
Professor's view to comment ratio algorithm.
Hey,
that's why I'm 25.
I will say
I get like an extra 10 comments a video because of that. People are like, I'm just commenting
You're
so
welcome.
Professor doesn't think you bought this view.
It's actually sad. I was replying to my Instagram comments today, and that was in the back of my head. I'm like, I got to get those numbers up.
I get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, it's sad that I thought that.
Well, I'm going to be like RJ. I don't even try, and I have the most engagement, so I'll take it. I will take. Maybe I'm wrong about those things. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to ambush Trike tonight when it's not supposed to be about that. And Troy, you're a good dude.
I want to ambush Trike really quick because
Let's do it.
he took a big collection in my backyard that I was probably gonna buy in 3 or 4 weeks. I was in the middle of just a huge purchase, and I literally the gentleman he bought from has literally been in my house. I've sold him product. I've bought cards from him. He's dropped off cards in my basement where we are right now, and I was just like, Rob, I just need like 3 weeks and we can do a deal. And then I watch a video and it's Trike buying out the whole collection.
To be fair, I didn't know. Like maybe if I had known, I would have left it for you. If you guys don't know, I did like on my channel, I bought out a collection, like one of my first collection videos, and it was just filled with good stuff. I paid like $30K, I think, but it was just loaded with good gradable stuff. And that was a definitely that was for what it's worth, that was pretty instrumental in me like, going full time with this. So I appreciate you leaving it.
That's your lane. That's like side business. Like most of that was going to go to ComC. So that's like side. I like to do that for fun. So no, I was happy. Not only did you get it, and Rob's an awesome dude to work with. Not only did you get it, you got an amazing content piece out of it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Wow, we're all being so friendly with each other. We got to.
Well, let's. Okay, here we
start
go.
Being mean.
I'm excited that you like. It is cool that you all came here. We're all like, this is awesome. I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty. I'll show the format, and then we'll turn it over to Chris. Chris is gonna crush it. So let me just start here. We're gonna start with each a different question. I didn't want us to answer the same question over and over 5 times. So we each get a different question. Chris prepared my question, so I have not seen my question. Each panelist will answer a separate question. I'm gonna put 45 seconds. Try to take up some of the time. Work out your thinking. The panel rapid fire, I had thoughts of us each having a whiteboard and writing on it and sharing it once, maybe another time, but for tonight we'll each take our turn. He's going to ask us rapid fire questions and you're going to respond. Then the collision will be Chris presents a topic or question to one of us. That person will give their take. And from there, the others will chime in, and let's try to respond to each other rather than, of course, you can go back to the topic in question, but it makes for better conversation if we're responding to each other. The fourth segment is the one I'm looking forward to. It might be a big hit, it might be a big miss, but I think there's legs there where each of you will take. I'm going to present a different topic with 4 options. What's the safest, or what's the most dangerous play, something like this. And you'll rank 1 to 4. No one ever ranks anything the same. So I'm sure other of the panelists will have something to say. Finally, the 2-minute warning. I have a question for each of you, and it'll be one-on-one, me and you. It'll be 30 seconds you, 30 seconds me, 30 seconds your rebuttal, 30 seconds my rebuttal. And we want to end with the question of the night. So if you have a good question, Frank's going to be watching the questions. And at the very end, we're hoping to come up with, if not 1, 2, depending how time, the flow, we'll do the viewer questions. So at this point, we're 5 minutes early. I think it's time to start. We got Neo, Run Good Life, Junk Wax Hero, myself, and Trike. And I'm going to turn it over to Chris, who's the perfect guy for hosting. Thank you, Chris, for doing this. And let's get it started. So I'm going to turn it over now to our boy, Chris Sewell.
All right. Thank you, Professor. This is our, what do you call it? The Hobby Collision, the first ever Hobby Collision. And the professor, scoured the earth, long and wide, looking for 5 great panelists and a great host. And he came up with the absolute perfect people. He reached out to them. None of them were available. So we ended up with me and, of course, the crew here. So, yeah, let's jump right in. The first category is the 45-second stances. It's kind of like a getting to know you for the audience to get to know each person. And we're going to start with Junk Wax Hero Mike. You're going to get 45 seconds to answer basically a standard question uninterrupted. You ready?
Sure.
All right.
45 seconds on the clock. Are most collectors today going to regret what they're buying right now?
No, as long as they're not buying ultra modern. If you're buying ultra modern stuff, then the vast majority of what you are buying, you're probably going to regret, unless it is absolute legends. Aaron Judge's, Shohei Ohtani's, Mookie Betts's. But if you're buying vintage of more legends, then there's no way you're going to regret those. If you're buying into breaks, then there's probably, unless you can turn around and flip and sell them. But I think a lot of ultra modern collectors are only in it to flip and sell. Not everybody, of course. But I think that a lot of ultra modern people will end up regretting what they've bought.
Excellent.
Great. Yeah. Agree. Couldn't ask for better. Chris, my bad. Here we go.
No, yeah. All right. Jumping over to Run Good Life. What do you say to the customer who can't afford box prices anymore because breakers have helped inflate sealed product prices?
It's a good question. I would say I understand your frustration. I came from a hobby where Chrome was $62 a box, and some of the more expensive stuff was $300. Now Chrome's $300, and all the more expensive stuff's $1,000. So, I've been here all my life. I remember buying dollar packs, Score, Upper Deck, Collector's Choice, that stuff. I get it. It sucks. I would say a lot of the breakers, the ones who have been around for a while, we created a business. We don't want this. Like, everything's just comically inflated. So I commiserate with them.
I suspect that we're going to get deeper into that later in the show.
Well said. Here we go.
All right. Next is Neo. You do both sports cards and TCG. What do you see as the biggest differences between both spaces?
TCG, I think, has a stronger collector base. When I go to, I have a lot of local TCG only shows. And one of the differences that you see when you walk around is people with binders, not Zion cases, when you go to TCG shows. And the way that I've always kind of summed this up is it seems like, and it's not that TCG doesn't have flippers and people trying to make money, but it feels like the majority of TCG folks are in it more for the love of the game. And it seems like more people in sports cards are in it to make 10 or 15%.
Yeah. Do you feel like TCG is what sports cards was, 30 years ago or whatever?
Yes, I think so. Box prices, though inflated, are still a little bit cheaper. The rips make a little bit more sense. Like I said, you have kids with binders, people putting sets together.
Yeah. All right. On to Troy. Troy, are we closer to Wall Street or childhood nostalgia?
I think I would say childhood nostalgia. If you look at the general market, like I was kind of thinking about it with one of the earlier questions, like we get in our bubble where it's like we think this is what the hobby is like YouTube and all this talk about flipping, and we know what Ken Golden said and all this stuff. I think personally that 90%, probably 95% of the hobby is just people buying a blaster at Target, getting a $5 card on eBay, just sharing with their friends. So I think most of those people are just nostalgia and just enjoying sports. I know that's not maybe it's kind of a sunshine and rainbows answer, but I think most of the hobby is just having casual fun with it.
I totally agree. All right, and on to the professor. We got, what are the biggest differences between collecting when you were a kid versus today?
That's a good question. None of us have heard these questions. I thought you guys all answered very well. What's the biggest difference? I worked at a card shop when I was 15, 16. I was thinking about this the other day. There was no $5,000 card in these cases. It was rare you see $1,000 card in a case. I'll even go furthermore. It was pretty rare to see a card in those cases over $300 or $400 when you went into a card shop. And now it's vastly different. So even though some of those cards were out of my reach, I wasn't going to own some of those cards. It just wasn't what it is today. The price of everything has put me in a box. All right.
Professor, please try to keep it to 45 seconds.
And now.
Yeah, we're deducting points for that going forward, right?
Hey, I did the whole thing. Come on now.
All right,
you're losing your chance to be the fifth panelist.
Neil gets 1,000 points. Isn't that from what was that show where they did?
I Hate You. Yeah, Around the Horn.
Yeah,
no,
there
was
go.
a comedy show where they did like Wayne Brady was on.
Oh, that's right.
Whose
line is it anyway?
Yeah, Neil gets 1,000 points for no reason.
Love it.
All right, on to our second category, our second topic, which is rapid fire. So for this one, we're going to go. Each person's going to get roughly 10-ish questions. I want one-word answers, yes, no, for many of them, and then we're going to switch to like a buy or sell. And so we're going to rapid fire through them. Everyone's going to get the same 10-ish. It's more like 15 questions. We will start with Troy.
And just a caveat real quick. This is the one where I thought it might work better if we all had this is a testing phase, but because we're all answering the same thing. So I'm going to take the questions off so we can all see them over and over. Sorry, that's my little caveat.
Okay, so we're going to start with Troy. I'm going to give you about 5 questions. I want you to respond yes, no. And then we're going to switch over to some buy sell. We'll start with the yes no's. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Troy, are we in a bubble?
Oh, the yes no is tough. Can I say maybe? No, that's lame. That's lame. That's lame. I'm sorry. I'm taking too much time. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
Now, is low pop count overrated?
Yes.
Is PSA overpriced?
Yes.
Are promotion or loaded products real?
No.
Does Fanatics know what boxes the hits are in?
God, the yes or no is so unfair. I'm gonna say no in general.
Okay. Okay. Now I want you to respond buy or sell.
Okay.
Would you buy or sell modern?
These are so modern, like current day, or like the modern era.
I think general modern sports cards.
I mean sell.
Vintage.
Buy.
Prospecting.
Sell.
Holding sealed wax.
Buy.
Pokemon.
Buy.
One Piece.
Sell.
Grading.
Buy.
Ripping wax.
Sell.
Okay, and now the last 2 questions I want you to answer with just a number. With a number only, what is the appropriate price a card should cost to grade?
$15.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy is the hobby right now?
5.
Okay. There's Troy's rapid fire. He said no bubble. We'll see how many people agree with that.
It's tough not being able to explain yourself. You guys go ahead, but it's tough not giving caveats on this.
We want to remove all nuance and make it as black and white.
Yeah.
Everything as black and white as possible.
Firm stances only.
All right, we're on to Junk Wax here. Mike, same questions. For Mike, are we in a bubble?
Yes.
Is low pop count overrated? There's our first discrepancy already. Is low pop count overrated?
Yes.
Is PSA overpriced?
Yes.
Are loaded products real?
Yes.
Does Fanatics know what boxes the hits are in?
Yes.
Wow, we went 5 for 5 with yeses on Junk
And-
Wax.
And my opinions on those last two have changed in the last year. I did not think they were loaded, and I didn't think Fanatics knew until the last 6 to 12 months or so. And I've been convinced.
What's changed in the last 6 to 12 months to convince you?
There so many celebrities are pulling big shit that they should. There's no way all these celebrities get big stuff in the one box they're given. No. There's no
Has
fucking
their
way.
101 auto in it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Only respond with buy or sell. Ready? Modern.
Sell.
Vintage.
Buy.
Prospecting.
Sell.
If anyone says buy for prospecting, we should just remove that one. Holding Field Wax.
Sell.
Pokemon.
Sell.
One Piece.
Sell.
Grading.
Buy.
Really? Ripping Wax.
Sell.
Okay, so you sold everything except vintage and grading. And then for a number answer, what is the appropriate price a card should cost to grade?
15.
15. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy is the hobby right now?
4.
Okay. We got a 5 and a 4. I should be writing these down for future conversation.
Professional.
5. Yeah. All right, on to who's Professor's next. You ready, Professor?
I know.
Are we in a bubble?
Yes.
Is low pop count overrated?
Is low pop count overrated? No.
Is PSA overpriced?
Absolutely.
Are loaded products real?
Yes, sir.
Does Fanatics know what boxes the hits are in?
I believe so, even though I'm told otherwise.
I forget, Troy. What did you answer for that one? Does Fanatics know if the boxes the hits are in?
I said no.
Said no. All right, Professor. Buy or sell modern?
Sell.
Vintage.
Buy.
Prospecting.
Sell.
Holding sealed wax.
That's a buy, I think.
Pokemon.
Sell.
One Piece.
Buy.
Grading.
Oh, damn. Grading's hard. Sell it.
Ripping wax.
Ripping wax. Sell.
Okay. And what is the appropriate price a card should cost to grade?
I liked your answers. I'll go $12. I'll say $12.
We have a 12, a 15, and a 15. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy is the hobby right now?
I'll undercut by a little because I already heard their answers. I'll say 3.
3, 5, 4. We're getting worse. 5, 4, 3 as we go here. Okay. On to Run Good Life. Yes or no? Are we in a bubble?
This one's tough, like Trek said. I'm gonna say no.
No. Is low pop count overrated?
Yes.
Interaction's coming, Dave. Give it a minute. Interaction's coming.
Yeah, they're coming in round 3. Is PSA overpriced?
Yes.
Are promotion or loaded products real?
No.
Does Fanatics know what the boxes the hits are in?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. From a breaker. Or only buy or sell. Modern?
Buy.
Vintage.
Also buy.
Prospecting.
Sell.
Holding sealed wax.
Buy.
Pokemon.
Buy.
One Piece.
Sell.
Grading.
I'm gonna say sell.
So okay. And ripping wax.
I'm gonna say buy.
Buy. All right. How much? What is the appropriate price a card should cost to grade?
$18.
$18. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy is the hobby right now?
6.5.
6.5.
Hey now.
That ups our average. All right. And on to our final panelist, Neo. Yes or no? Are we in a bubble?
No.
Is low pop count overrated?
Yes.
Is PSA overpriced?
No.
Are loaded products real?
No.
Does Fanatics know what boxes the hits are in?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of yeses on that one. Buy or sell? Modern.
Sell.
Vintage.
Buy.
Prospecting.
Sell.
Holding sealed wax.
Buy.
Pokemon.
Buy.
One Piece.
Buy.
Grading.
Buy.
Ripping wax.
Sell.
Okay, and how much should it cost to grade?
$18.
$18. And on a 1 to 10 scale, how healthy is the hobby?
I'll go a little higher. I'll say 7.
Ooh, that average bumps up to right around 5. We got a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7. Although 6 is actually a 6.
Chris, it's a disservice. That last question on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy? What would you? I thought they were all fair answers. I want to throw it at you real quick. What would you answer to the scale of 1 to 10?
I'd be on the higher side. I'd probably be in like the 6 to 7 range.
Just to make it easy, you can just make mine a 6.
What was you were a 6.5?
I was a 6.5. You can just make it a 6.
Yeah, if you make it a 6, we have a 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's a nice nice distribution. Was Professor, were you the 3?
You better believe it.
Shocker. All right, on to category 3 here of the hobby collision. This is where
Dave mentioned there's not enough interaction. Here's where that should change a bit.
Here's where we want interaction. So I'm gonna read a question that's a debate question. I'm gonna throw it at somebody for a sort of a quick response, and then I want everybody to just sort of jump in, disagree if you want, or you can agree or give a different take, whatever you're feeling in the moment. Feel free to scream at each other if you would like. All right, you guys ready for the first question? We're gonna give this one to Run Good Life. Are repacks good or bad for the hobby? We'll say, are repacks a net good or a net bad for the hobby?
I'm not going to cop out and say a net neutral. I'm going to say a net good when done right. The problem is most of the time they're not done right, so bad. But I'm going to say net good. If done appropriately, they're net good.
Do you feel most are done good or most are not?
I feel like it's like 70-30 bad.
70-30 bad. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody disagree with that?
Yeah, well, I'll start. I feel like repacks, I've always felt this, and maybe it's changed over the years, and maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, back in the day, and even more forward, repacks were always a way to get rid of stuff you can't get rid of. And there's so many slabs out there that are just junk slabs. I feel like most of these repacks I hope someone, take the other side here, but I just feel like repacks are a way to get rid of product you can't move as singles.
I don't disagree with you. Like I don't disagree with you. I think that a lot of people do use it as a vehicle for that. I've never done that. It's always, I've always actively like looked at what I had on hand and be like, shit, I have to buy a bunch of cards. Like I don't like these. I'll go through and, I'll do a wrestling one and then I'll prune my floor a bunch of times because I don't like those cards. I don't feel comfortable putting those in a repack and having to, you got this. Sorry. Like,
okay, not everybody's you though. As you mentioned, so many people are going to manipulate this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like if they're done right, then they can be good. The problem is nobody does them right. Everybody wants the big flashy number at the top without giving a shit about what's at the bottom.
What would help to make them look right? What would make a good repack?
I just think that a good repack has a solid middle rather than a high top and a low bottom. I just think that, if you buy into a $100 repack, you shouldn't be trying to get a $5,000 card and 50xing your money. I think a good repack has something like a $1,800 card at top. And then the floor is something like $45 and not like $20.
I guess a response or question would be, what is your take on, because I'm glad that you are the opposite level head, but what's your take the online repacks? Is there any difference there, or do you kind of?
I think there's a super difference. I think it's so frictionless to just lose, to trade it in. You get your $100, you spend your $100, you get your $45 card, you sell it for 90%. Your 100 now just being in 40. Click another button. Like it's so frictionless that, unless you get lucky and you hit a grail in your first few packs, it's just like hitting a jackpot on a slot machine. If you just keep spinning, eventually, it doesn't matter how many jackpots you hit. Eventually, everything goes to zero. I know people who have hit grail cards, sold it back to them, and bought more packs. Like, what are you doing? You won the game. Like it's more of a game than it is a repack to me.
I completely agree. The repack when they're selling it, there's some funny ways they're doing it in breaker rooms, but overall, I agree. The digital one is far, far more worse. It's far more addictive. It's far easier to just click. The game they set up, they did on purpose. You could hit it, buy it back, keep playing, get that adrenaline rushing. I don't know. Do any of the other panelists have a deep thought on this one?
I was going to push back on that a little bit. I mean, I think I definitely agree that the online, like the casino factor is real and that's dangerous. But I think there's a lot of benefits as well versus traditional repacks, like definitely more transparency. I think in general, the cards are better. I think there's just less funny business you can pull. Like I would if I'm I mean, obviously I have bias and I've worked with some of these companies in the past. That's not why I'm saying this. You can believe me or not, but I would trust though. If I had to buy into a repack, which I don't do personally, it's not my thing. It's not something I would recommend in general. I would rather go with one of the digital companies than just some rando putting them into like little bubble mailers.
So
I guess
I'll
I
put-
would. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll push back. I was looking at one last night that I hadn't been on in a few months, and it's like they show all the grails, but they don't show you which ones have been pulled. So even though it says there's 45 packs left, like you don't know what's left in those 45 packs.
Yeah, so I know, and I'm very wary of this. So like whatever, Arena Club shill, like, but at least I know with that one, I think it go as soon as it's pulled, it's out. Like they have the full thing, like every card actively as it's going, and it shows your exact percentage and all that stuff. I know when one's hit, it's taken off that.
But what bugs me about Arena Club is that those odds in a normal person's brain, odds change as something comes out of the deck. So they're playing with no one wants to play blackjack where the deck gets reshuffled every time. It's a terrible gamble. And so I hate it's not that transparent, because you'd think when one card gets pulled, the odds now change in some favor here, but they just replace that card. So the odds never change. And then they end it sometimes. It's a 48-hour break. So after 48 hours, that whole run was not hit, and the odds are very, not very transparent to me. That's just,
and
I don't like that odds.
Well, speaking of odds, and once again, I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here to be completely to be completely clear. Like repacks, I would never be like, "Yo, go buy them. You're going to make money, or it's a great activity, or this is where the hobby should be." Let's be very clear on that. But one thing that I do think is interesting, speaking of odds, is everyone talks, "Oh, repacks are the devil. This is terrible. Casino. This is the worst thing ever." Your average return is, I mean, this isn't a fact, but on a lot of these websites, it is something like 80% or whatever. So don't get me wrong. You're going to lose money in the long term. Let's be clear about that. But ripping wax, Chris has done videos about this. I've had my own experience. The return is only about like 10%. So I just get confused. Once again, I'm not saying repacks are better than wax, or that's what you should do instead of wax, or that's how we should hobby. But it is confusing to me when it's like this thing that gets you 80% is so evil. This thing that gets you 10%, oh, that's just a bit of fun, though.
I just hated how they marketed it, and I do think that addictive brain or that youth, they're not doing it for the cards, they're doing it for, ooh, can I hit? And like RGL said, they just end up selling back a grail because they're so in the zone.
Isn't that most of what wax is at this point too? It's people
kind of like you open a box of wax, I don't know, it's $300-400, and then you don't get to return it right away. It's just the convenience of being able to boom, boom, boom. I don't know. It feels like it's looking for someone that's looking for that hit, that addiction, that adrenaline. Which I guess you could argue for the sports cards too. I just don't like how they can return it.
Yeah, I think the digital aspect, the fact that you can keep spinning so quickly is definitely dangerous. That would probably be the biggest, amongst other negatives. But that's just a thought I had. I don't know.
Casey's cards hit big on a repack, if anybody's familiar with that story.
I mean, it's clear that repacks are better return than wax. Otherwise, repacks wouldn't have caught fire like they did.
Thank you, Cheesecake. Well, they're pushing the shit out of it. Look at all this money they've put in. This is where you and me look at all the money they've put into these sites. They're marketing it like it's in our face 24/7. So I always wonder how, and they're all moving to it. So in your favor, they wouldn't be moving to it unless it was selling. But eventually there's going to be a lot of competition. I want to see how successful they really are, because, man, are they pushing the hell out of it.
It's not even so much about the return. And listen, I hate repacks. I've never bought a repack in my entire life. But I've opened an $800 box of Topps Chrome basketball and got about $10 worth of cards, and you feel like ass after that.
Yes, you do.
If you open an $800 repack and you hit a $300 Dirk Nowitzki out of 25 auto, you're like, well, I got my ass kicked, but at least I got a cool card out of it.
I mean, you lost $500.
Yeah,
I know, but people are not like, are you just in to lose? I'm sure that's not how you guys play, because you guys are smarter.
This is a little bit of the industry that we're in, though, both on the wax side and the repack side. Is the middle is just disappearing. It's everybody wants the moonshots, and that's why a box of Topps Chrome basketball is $800, because somebody's going to hit a $500,000 Cooper flag from it. Like, whereas you buy a repack for $800, your chase is going to be like 50,000 probably. I don't know the numbers, but it's just the middle. Like it's not cool open an $800 box and get a $1,200 card. It doesn't really feel like a win. Feeling like a win is hitting a $5,000 card. Like that's what the industry, at least for wax and repacks, from what I've seen, is gravitating towards. It wants big winners and big losers. Like, it's not cool to just open an $800 box and get $800 worth of cards. That feels like a loss to some people.
Interesting.
And we might not all like repacks, but they are literally the liquidity engine of the hobby right now.
Are they sustainable? Will they keep work? I mean, is it a long-term product where people are going to keep playing that game?
Absolutely. I mean, you live in the city that proves that.
I know, but I hate when but this is new. Like, blackjack's been around for, poker's been around for centuries. This is all is the return, is it going to compete with sports gambling? We'll find out, I guess.
If you get your ass kicked in blackjack, you walk away with the table with nothing. If you get your ass kicked in the repack, you walk away with a $20 Dirk Nowitzki auto.
Either way, you're losing money. People are, I don't.
You literally live in the city that proves why this is not.
It's
going
like
anywhere.
the card I know, but eventually you move. If you're going to stay in cards, you realize there's such a better way to do it. I don't know. I don't feel it's a long-term customer. I feel
you're
like
assuming the people buying in the repacks actually want to stay in cards, and they're just not using this as a different form of gambling.
But why wouldn't they just move to a better gamble? Eventually they're going to get burned, and they're just going to do there's many forms of gambling.
Maybe they like the idea that you at least get something out of it. Maybe they like cards a little bit, but they don't want to have binders full of cards laying around the house like we do.
I'm taking a moment. This has gone as well as I thought it could. I appreciate you guys for coming on doing this. This has gone very well, in my opinion. Anybody else? Sorry, Chris, to take your role here, but anyone else, or we'll move to the second one.
I actually want to just follow up on something Troy said, which I thought was really interesting, because it's true. Like, we don't view opening packs as gambling in the same way we view repacks as like straight up gambling, whereas people don't really think of it in terms with the packs. And is that just because packs have been around longer and we're sort of used to it as being a part of the hobby?
I mean, I think it's the product from the manufacturer. You're opening a box. Yes, it is somewhat of a gamble, but and you guys could take the other route on this. It's a form of entertainment, and you're normally not. I guess my problem with these repacks is it does create this keep going. Generally, when you buy 8 packs, you go home, you open your 8 packs, you don't buy 8 more. Maybe that's not everyone. Generally, when you buy one box,
at card stores they go into a
But that's that's not everyone there. That's the unique customer, I would say.
I have a sidebar here. The sidebar would be, for those that don't see ripping wax as gambling, is there a certain product where you do see it more? Like, for me, it's Panini 1-in-1 basketball, $1,000 for 2 cards. That feels a whole lot more like a repack, where it's like, it's just wham bam, open the box, see your hits, as opposed to like a Topps Finest basketball for $800, where at least I get 6 packs and 2 autographs, and I get the pack opening experience. Is there a product that just
it's like opening a box of
straight up
Top
gambling?
Dynasty versus like a Series 1 jumbo?
Yeah.
Insight you could give us only is like, what is the difference in clientele? Who's buying those real expensive boxes?
So I mean, the people who are going to take a shot, right, that maybe can't afford either one, they're probably going to go with the general pack opening experience. Like, they want that experience. They want that level of entertainment. The people that don't care about $1,000, that $1,000 to them is $100 to somebody else, they want those moonshot cards. Like, they want to pull that Dynasty logo, man. They want to pull, something just that's nasty that they can't get in a box of Topps Chrome. That's like purely for the degens, like the Panini ones, the Dynasties, all of those.
Those customers, I would consider them like a whale customer. Do they stay a long time, or do they fizzle out? And I just, for insight, I'm curious.
We have both. We have people who just come in and, man, they just want the highest end of highest end, and then they fizzle out and we never see them again. And then we have people who just buy 3 spots in the lower end stuff because they, the amount of money for those doesn't matter to them as much as, say, the average break buyer. So I would say of that sort of clientele, like, it's pretty 50-50.
Chris, let's move on to question. Yeah, let's move on to question number 2. That was cool. We got four of these to get through. All right, question number 2. We're gonna throw to who wants it. We'll throw this one to Neo. Will the hobby be bigger or smaller in 5 years than it is today?
I will say bigger in 5 years. I do feel like, we had the question earlier of are we in a bubble or not, and I said no, because though prices are high, it feels different than it did in 2020 and 2021. And I do think I almost feel like Fanatics won't let it be smaller, even though we might not like what they do. I think we can all agree they're going to market the shit out of this thing and probably bring a lot of people in. Now, we might not like the people that they bring in. We might not like the reasons why they are coming in and why they are choosing to participate in the hobby. See our last conversation. But I do feel like more people will be in it in 5 years.
I have my opinion. So anyone else want to go before me? Let's let you speak.
Yeah, I agree with Neil. I think where Fanatics is positioned right now, they're positioned to not let it be smaller in 5 years. Now, 15, 20 years down the line, and again, going back to the bubble thing, I think, 15, 20 years down the line, I think that's a better look. Is it, if this question was, if it's 15 or 20 years, is it going to be bigger or smaller? I don't have an answer for you, but I know in 5 years it's going to be bigger because Fanatics won't allow it to be smaller outside of some like global financial crisis or something along those lines.
Oh, I mean, I feel the last year the singles market has gone stupid up for no reason almost. Like, we watched it crash, and then we watched 3 years of flat, and now all of a sudden the past 9-10 months it just gone stupid high. And so I think in the next few years you're going to see what we saw back in 2021, 2022, where a lot of these stupid high prices, where Zion and Ja Morant, even our boy Luka has not won a title. And if he doesn't win a title, he's just remembered for not being in shape, for not playing defense, and for being a waste of talent. So I see a lot of these prices falling in the singles. And then some of these guys that are buying for the flip, or just like we saw in 2021, every week, it just kept getting higher. You could buy a card and 3 weeks later it'd be double. And that's exactly the same thing we see today. And when that happens, I think you're going to see a run away from what we're seeing now. And I'd love to hear someone, play the other side.
We saw what happened. People got punched in the face way harder on the COVID crash, and the hobby is bigger today, 3 years after the COVID crash, than it was then.
I mean, it depends the metrics. I know a lot of metrics are not we don't get to see. So I'll point to YouTube. It's not like your numbers you've been around all these years, and it's not like the numbers have doubled, tripled for the channel. And I'm not calling out your channel. Most of the big channels have actually lost a lot of viewership. So, I mean, if you go to a card show, it's TCG card show.
You can't compare views during COVID to today.
How about after COVID though? After COVID, the numbers were bigger.
During COVID and even post COVID, you're still coming off an era where people were locked inside. There wasn't a lot of live sports and things like that. And the other big thing to factor in, there was less channels back then. So you had more concentrated viewership back in 2020 and 2021. Now there's tons of
lot of channels.
Not like nowhere near like today.
The cream will rise to the top. But I think a lot of those channels. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think eBay has come out with some stats on this. And forgive me if I'm not remembering this exactly, but in terms of transaction volume and active users, and there could be other factors for that, why people are more active on eBay now, but from before. But there was after COVID, there was a small little blip, but it's been trending upwards even the whole time with the crash. So, and definitely, just anecdotally from my experience, there's definitely more people in the hobby today than there were before.
I guess maybe that's a key distinction. Do you consider TCG part of the hobby, or is the hobby sports cards only?
I feel like we're referring to sports cards. Anybody else? I mean, that's how when I think the hobby, I'm not thinking Pokemon and One Piece. That's TCG.
Should they be considered together?
So do you think there's less people in the hobby today than during the COVID boom?
I think it's a good question. I think it could be even. Like Neo said, we were all sitting at home. We all had free money. And so, yes, it makes sense that there was way more people than now. Now, it seems like, as Neo also said, Fanatics is doing their best to market the shit out of this. And so are other companies, and so are other influencers. So it looks really big, but our boy got, God, I hate to do this to you, Trek, but our boy got 5,000 views. Eric Michael, 12 comments. I just argue that it's never as big as they're making it look. That just, even with the repack online, they put so much money into making these. How did they get customers? They make it look huge. They promote it everywhere.
I mean, shows are like, I go to a ton of shows. Shows are way busier now than what
shows
they
are.
were.
But wouldn't you agree that a lot of the Nationals very busy, the Dallas Card Show very busy, even the shows here are busy. But I'd argue a lot of the percentage of that show is TCG and Pokemon.
Not at the National.
Not the National.
Not at the. I understand not the National. But how about the shows you're going to?
I mean, it's hard.
Like the
There's
shows in
no way to
Vegas.
know for sure on that.
Right,
But
you were at
regardless,
Front Row
they're
Card
way
Show.
busier.
Yeah, I mean, I think
there's no way to know
shows
who's there for Pokemon and who's there for sports cards.
No, but Trike was there at Front Row Card Show. 70% of that show is TCG at this point.
Yeah, I mean, TCG has definitely taken over, but I think, I mean, like Dallas, I was at the past Dallas, that's pretty much exclusively sports.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
like the one right after COVID was crazier, I think, because everyone was, you built up
Pent
for
up,
that.
yeah.
But with that factor taken out, this show was crazy. Like, I think there's more attendance at card shows than ever. Just based on sports, not including.
I totally agree. I think objectively, there's way more people in the hobby right now than there was in recent years, and I can see it from sales online, from my own personal sales online, and going to card shows. First of all, there's a million more card shows than there was 5 years ago, and they're always jam packed. Versus that wasn't the case just a few years ago.
The hobby is definitely not both. We talk about the hobby, we talk about sports cards. TCG is separate. It's a separate channel. It's a separate thing. I know they're intermingling, and that's actually not good for you sports card people because they're going to be nostalgic for TCG and not, Jackson Dart.
I actually would disagree. I think they should be viewed as closer together than they are separate because there's a lot of crossover between the two.
They just have two different I watch their channels and they're so much more of a hobbyist and they're so less industry and they're so much more passionate. And it doesn't feel like it's always about the dollar signs, where our hobby, it's these flippers, the breaks are different. The breaks reach these crazy prices because people could buy in for the Cooper flag. Their hobby is a little different. Fine. I will, you guys are saying the hobby's bigger now, but I do think TCG is just a different demographic.
You have to remember, though, TCG, you're forgetting the game part of it. There's a whole different subsection of TCG that nobody talks about, and that's the players. Like, TCG is largely collectible, but there is, all of them do have a gaming component with world championships. I know, I finished third at the 2013 Pokemon World Championship, and I wasn't really even trying. I was kind of trying. I wanted to win that one really bad.
Third?
But there is this component of competitive players where if a competitive, there's a perfect storm in competitive TCGs, and that's where a highly collectible card is also a highly playable card. And that's why maybe not some of the Pokemon like alternate arts and stuff like that. There's this sector where this crossover happens, and a card where every player needs 4 copies of it. Now that common card shoots up to $20. A common card from Series 1 flagship is never going to be $20 unless there's like some error or something like that. So you do have that in TCG. You have a whole competitive scene where players just have to buy cards every 3 months to keep their decks up and keep it active. And there's people that don't care about collecting. They don't care about the condition of their cards. I played a deck once in Pokemon that was worth $1,600. Everybody cringed. It was a max rarity deck for those that know. Everybody cringed because it's like the collectors, for them, like that's the cards they want to grade. They don't want to see those cards played. I just said, F it. This is my world championship deck. I max rarity'd it out, and I was playing against 9 and 10-year-olds for fun because they saw me play at the world championship.
And even I think that was a great point. And Neo mentioned he was a pretty competitive Magic player. And Magic and sports cards are just two different hobbies. Magic the Gathering is a big player base. They're not sending a lot of the cards into graded. There's not a huge market for that. So I do see where they collide, but I also think they're just two. They really are. And you mentioning the competitive side and people want the cards for the game. I think, shows a little, it does show they're a little different. We're not playing games with our cards.
I still think it's like an 80-20 split towards collecting in most of the competitive card games, but there is that 20% that does actively play, travel around the country, travel around the world for playing literally a children's card game.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, should we move on to question number 3?
Let's do it.
All right, question. Who have I not? Yeah, we'll throw this one to Junkwax Hero Mike because it has Junkwax in the question. Is overproduction today worse than the Junkwax era?
I'm going to actually say no in terms of wax, because while there's a lot more wax out there, there's more cards, I think. There's a greater variety of it. It's just that there's a greater variety of junk, and so there's it's hard to define the difference between the two eras, but there's definitely a difference. Everybody's not going to have the same exact cards like they do for my era in the 1980s and early 90s, but everybody's going to have junk. So it's just different junk. Your junk is going to look different than my
More
junk.
variety of junk.
Yeah, it's a crazy different variety.
I guess this question got sparked. Chris was either, I think, it was either off air or on air. He asked me, do you think there's more cards printed today than back during then? So, Mike, back to you. Do you think more cards are being printed today or back in the late 80s?
I think more are being printed today. Fanatics Topps has more sets than there were back then. I think it feels like there's a lot more sets. They're being released more often. RGL, you can probably confirm this. And then some of them, like Topps Series 1, Series 2, and Update, I think have more cards than they did back then in, say, 1990. Just a guess.
Yeah, Wax Metric kills this on X, by the way, on Twitter/X. He kills these breakdowns.
What's the name? Wax Metric?
Wax Metric with an X at the end. I think it's Slab Squatch Sports Cards. He just absolutely kills these breakdowns for every set for Topps. I do think that for Series 1, I think they printed more base cards than they did like back in the 90s. But, I don't. There's such a variety, like he said, that maybe the to 399s to 250s, maybe those won't matter as much. But I genuinely do believe that the to 25s and people's favorite parallels and the short print stuff, that's my big thing is there's a lot of stuff out there that's very short print that's not numbered, that people don't realize it, and they're not going to realize it for 4 or 5 more years when they go to buy a white Panini Black White Knights case hit of Bijan Robinson, and you can't find one. Maybe there's one on the market and the guy's asking $1,200. Those are just super short print cards. They're available when the product first comes out, and then they slowly disappear. People put them in their collection. So I think that the lower numbered and the short print stuff from this era, that's the stuff that matters.
But 95% of the parallels, even the low numbered ones, will not matter in 20 years.
I kind of disagree because I think
I agree.
It's gonna come down to personal taste of what colors people like. Like I said earlier with Chris Sewell, he was selling some black refractors on ComC from Heritage. I love those. There's only 60 of them made every year. Those are ones that they're just going to disappear. You might go a year before you see the player. If I'm trying to put together Felix Hernandez, all of his black refractors from Heritage, I might not see one from 2010 or 2011 for 2 or 3 years.
But it sold for $18.
But a black refractor has like a long storied history. Do you think like the purple pixie dust swirly ball out of 67 is going to hold value?
No, but I do think that the cherry blossom to 20 is going to be an awesome.
Let me talk some sense into you. Sean Alexander was one of the best running backs in the league at the time. Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson. No one gives a fuck, and I don't care about the color, and I don't care if it's numbered because just nobody cares. So maybe a handful of players this will matter for, but you're always going to be able to go get that Larry Johnson out of 25, who was the cream of the crop at the time.
All right,
and that's where I disagree with all this.
Okay, but what about, for example, I had this card once many years ago, and I've never seen one since. What about the rookie mirror gold 4-swatch autograph of Anquan Bolden? What if I want a really high-end Anquan Bolden?
That sounds awesome.
I can't find that card. So I mean, maybe I can find one to 199. 20 a card from 20 years from now. Like if I want.
Okay, Anquan Bolden is a Hall of Famer though. Like, okay, and I mentioned some guys there. The next step down, how about those players? Like, you're fair. Anquan Bolden is a decent name you brought up there.
I mean, the true rare stuff, even of Scrubs, sells for absurd prices. Like logo mans of like, I don't even know, like Luke Walton, like $20,000. Like people pay crazy prices.
We'll see if that holds. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's crazy right now. I think you're caught up in a moment paying $20,000 for Luke Walton. He had one of those. I didn't even, because you could I have Luke Walton's auto rookie. I bought it for like $6. So I guess there's going to be a wide range of a few things that matter. And I could get the Luke Walton autograph rookie for $6.
Think about the years where like take 2018 for example, like that year is locked behind Shohei Ohtani for most of the sets. What if you collect a player or there was a rookie that you want from 2018? It's like nobody's ripping that stuff. Anything that's still sealed out there, nobody wants to rip it because it's more valuable sealed than it is opened. So like There's going to be years that are guarded, but like Luka year for 18-19. What if you really like DeAndre Ayton? What if you really want, a select a 5 for your rainbow? Maybe you have the 101, but you don't
You'll
have
get
a
it for
green.
$8.
You're not going to get it is the problem. If one doesn't show up on the market, you're not going to get it. Maybe there's still 2 more in boxes and nobody wants to open that because it's $4,000.
I guess we could look at past players though, and it's like you could go get a Mike Singletary on card auto number, Craig Biggio on card number, $25-$40. So I just look at the history of it, and I just don't see a lot of good. To James Run Good Life's point, I do think for me, I think Topps Chrome is the one. Yeah, I think if it's not Topps Chrome, and I see this with WWE Finest, the people that want to spend money. They're not going to want to spend money on all that stuff. They're going to want to spend money on what they think's the important stuff. I left them speechless. No.
All right, shall we? Let me ask.
If he wants to rebut,
go for it.
I think my rebuttal is like if we're talking about collectors and not people who are buying cards with the intention of making 10-15%, like true collectors. They're not going to care. Like maybe they'll care. Maybe there's a subsection that cares specifically for the chromes, the RPAs, like all the best of the best. There's going to be collectors who just look at a set from 10 or 15 years ago, find a case hit that they like that wasn't a Kaboom or a Downtown, and they're going to say, I want one of those. And if they only made 20 of them and they're non-numbered, they're just like estimated pop run of 20, maybe you're not going to be able to find one. So I think that when you're talking specifically about collectors and not flippers who are trying to make 10 or 15%, I think that personal taste kind of supersedes, I need the chrome gold. I don't want the finest gold wave. I need the true gold. People are going to collect cards based off the photo of the card or the set or how the card looks, as opposed to I need the true gold from chrome.
But I guess my pushback on that would be all the sets, all the serial numbers, just so much of it. Some of it will remain special, and some of it you're going to pick up some of that serial number stuff pretty cheap. There's so much of the.
I don't disagree
all of the
with
out of
that.
25s are going to stay relevant, or just some of them.
No, like some people might hate the Pulsar design, like the Pulsar, the dots parallel, the fast break parallel. Some people might not like those, but maybe they like the wave, or maybe like the shimmer or something like that. Like I like shimmers. Like I like a shimmer more than a wave or a fast break or something like that. I think again, it's just going to come down to personal taste and what's available and what's out there. Maybe you want the orange shimmer, you don't want the orange fast break. You're going to hold out for the orange shimmer, and you're going to pay more for it when one finally shows up.
Mr. Chris,
is there a funnier thing said in a YouTube sports episode than when Neo says disco swirly ball in relation to
no
parallels?
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, let's go into question number 4, and this is I think I haven't given one to Troy yet, so this is going to Troy. On a scale of 1 to 10, how close are we to a major market correction?
I would say I was kind of thinking about it when you guys were talking about the last topic. I think there's going to be a big shakeout in terms of like the out of 299s and stuff. Like the stuff that's not important, I think is pretty strongly overpriced right now. And if we get some economic turmoil or stuff like that, that stuff is going to fall really sharply. And I think that's going to shake out. But I don't know, major market correction. I just don't think everything is going to crash, especially the good stuff tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, we've talked like Cooper Flagg stuff is crazy right now, right? Odds are 10 years from now, unless he has an incredible career, that stuff is not going to be worth a ton of money. But I guess I don't see the whole market just collapsing tomorrow. So I would say like a 3.
Right now, just a market correction. I wouldn't say collapse.
Oh yeah, correction. Yeah, not crash. I'm looking at the red thing distracted me, the crashing sign there. Correction. Okay, then wow, I sound like an idiot now because I'm completely changing my answer. But I don't think it can keep going up as quickly as it has. So correction, yeah, I mean 7.
I have a question I want to ask off this that I just thought of, but does anyone else want to take this real quick, or should I want to ask a follow-up?
I think the good stuff is going to continue to perform pretty well, but I think it's kind of what Troy said. Some of that middle of the road out of 299, out of 200 stuff is probably a little vulnerable. And I mean, whoever the most current hyped thing is always going to be in the range for something like this, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to say earlier, sorry, I'm butting in. I think it's going to be really interesting like 10 years from now when we look back and we're like, okay, like right now, a Jalen Brunson Prism Purple PSA 10 is like 100, like might even be $100 plus or like in that area. And we're going to be like,
swirly
wow.
ball one or just a regular one?
Any of them, like there's crazy, just pretty much junk in a PSA 10 of a player who, no offense, Jalen Brunson probably isn't going to go down as like a true all-time great. It's like $100 in a PSA 10, and even his lower number stuff is probably crazier. I think it's going to be really funny when we look back and be like, there was so much junk, and if we had just focused on the stuff that's important of the big names, like our return just would have been crazy better.
I guess someone mentioned this and I thought it was a very valid question. So it's a little off this topic, but it's great to ask with you guys, is that they mentioned the MLB strike. I'll also go to WNBA. Like, you as content creators, you need to stay, like you said, Dan the Cardman's in the comments. He stopped posting for a while. It hurt the algorithm. Now he's back to okay. So if WNBA goes on strike, they kind of lose some momentum there. Furthermore, if MLB goes on strike, what does that put a pause on things? Does that slow things down, or no, we're just full steam ahead? And it's honest. I'm curious what your take is if the MLB does have a strike. I think Mike or Chris might be the biggest on baseball, but to anybody, or RGL is a pretty big baseball guy.
I mean, in terms of breaking, I don't think it's going to do anything. I think that if anything, the offseason creates speculation. You know, when they get back on the field, Jackson Holiday is going to be fully healed, ready to go. He's a high upside guy, buy low. So, I mean, when a season ends, you see that dip. And then when the season's about to begin, you start to see it increase. And if we're in a strike situation where at any point the two sides can come together and now we're going to play a 120 game season, now we're going to play an 80 game season, I think you're just going to be in that speculatory mode the entire time, unless a full season is wiped out and then things slowly dip, and then you have the off season dip. I think it's just going to be a largely speculative, hey, who's going to win MVP in a 62 game season?
Yeah, good answer.
And I haven't ran the numbers on this. Is there some aspect of, if they lose like half a season, of how that affects guys' overall careers from potentially missing like a half a season of baseball?
True. I mean, it happened in 94, right? I don't think it's happened since 94.
It hasn't happened since 94.
Yeah, guys lose half. We're going already hour 46. So I think, I don't know, Chris, are you ready to move to the ranking?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we going a little too long here?
No, we'll push to the ranking.
All right, we're on to the fourth category, which is the ranking. So I'm going to give, we have one for each of you, and we're going to give you four things, and you got to rank it 1 to 4. And then there can be follow-up conversation from anyone who disagrees with your ranking or agrees or heavily disagrees. So we're going to start with Troy here. And I want you to, you get 45 seconds. You can rank these 4 items, and you can sort of talk through why you're ranking them the way you are. So rank these 4 items from most damaging to least damaging towards the hobby: breakers, overproduction, influencer hype, singles, price manipulation.
Oh my God. Overproduction 1, singles, price. Let me know if I'm going too fast here.
No, and talk out your thinking if you
want. I was going to go overproduction 1, singles, price manipulation 2, influencer hype. I'm so biased here, but I just think like, dude, if you listen to someone on YouTube tell you to buy a card and then you just buy it and lose, like, I'm sorry. Like, not that we have a responsibility as influencers and stuff. You shouldn't do that. And I do see it like with the Eric Michael, I call that stuff out, but like, sorry, man, like you got something to figure out there. So I'm going to do what, I changed my mind. Influencers 3, breakers 4.
Is it because RGL's here?
No, I'm just trying to think like breakers. I mean, breakers have existed for a while now. Like, I don't think it raises box prices. I'm trying to think of how they really, I don't know.
I have the same exact ranking.
Yeah.
No difference whatsoever.
There we go. All right. I finally got one right here.
I flip-flop. So I flip-flop 3 and 4.
I was thinking about that. There's definitely an argument for
the
that.
reason why is because like we exist in this YouTube bubble where we know who all the influencers are. You go to a card show, you just start asking like regular people who are just keeping to themselves, who don't know what Jeff Wilson is doing when he's running around with a camera crew. There's going to be people who don't know who he is. I think that in our world, we think of influencers as a big deal. I think the average collecting experience, the average collector, the person who doesn't watch YouTube, they don't care about any of these people. They don't care about their opinions. I think influencer is the least damaging because they have the smallest voice out of all of this other stuff.
And in the past, in our conversations, you admit there's like a higher percentage of breakers are doing it not the right way.
Yeah.
I would actually have flipped. I would have had singles price manipulation 1, because I do think it's a huge problem. And then I'd have overproduction 2. Chris, how would you
talk about overproduction? And everyone was like, "Oh no, they're not overproducing," and now we're all putting it number 1 on the list.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so.
They're not. What do you guys do? We literally just had this conversation.
Who said they're not overproducing?
Yeah, no one said they're not overproducing.
We all said they were overproducing.
Okay, that's not. The
Yeah,
vibe
I would have this list very, very similar. I'm curious, RGL, what is what you said you would put breakers ahead of influencer hype? Like, what do you think is the negative impact breakers are having?
So I think that for the most part, if your first interaction with a breaker is like a bad one, or you like spin the wheel, get a random player, like I'm very anti pick your player, random player wheel, like that kind of breaking.
Yeah.
I think if that's your first interaction with breaking, or if your first interaction with breaking is just like spending a bunch of money, not knowing what you're doing and just getting burnt, I think that's far more harmful. That paints, a big sector of the industry where there's a lot of good breakers. There's a lot of fair, equitable breakers. I think if your first experience is bad, it just paints a ugly, you think breaking is the absolute worst. Whereas again, I just don't think that the influencers that we think of, I don't think that they have nearly as much influence over the hobby as breaking, which is a huge segment of the hobby.
Yeah, I very much agree. I don't think I agree with the influencer thing. I don't think influencers have a huge impact. I don't think they have the impact we think that, we feel that it does.
And I guess there's a mix, because some of those influencers are the breaking backyard breaks of the world are, excuse me, not only breakers, but they try to be influencers. And those are the ones I probably have the most extreme problem with.
It's wild to me that breakers are 4 on this list. Like, are we talking about individual breakers or breaking?
But it's all it says is breakers. And yeah, so your point is the best here, Neo. Are we talking about breakers, like scummy breakers, or are we talking about breaking as a whole? Because I would put breaking 4th, but if you want to just say bad breakers, then those would be higher.
But for me, bad breaking,
I would put it 1, not 4.
It's not even bad breakers. Breakers are part of the reason, and Fnatic. It's the distribution. So the prices have gone skyrocket on these products. Breakers have a little to do with that. So I'm not even calling out bad breakers. The price point on this stuff is some of it would say because, the new distribution method of breakers.
Well, here, I have a way to reword this. If you could get rid of any of these, what order would you get rid of them? Because that's kind of how I thought about it.
Singles price manipulation, number 1 for me.
Oh, breakers.
Overproduction's a good answer for you. Yeah. I
really,
like that.
because for me, like overproduction is like one of the biggest. Singles price manipulation, I think that's mostly on the high end in my experience.
Yeah, I see a lot of people send me shill bidding stuff for $100 card.
So Neil, if we said break and if we had a magic wand, we could get rid of all breakers, no more breaking. What would be the benefits to the hobby?
Most people in chat would be able to afford a box of Topps Chrome Hobby.
Hey now. Ooh, that made me happy to hear you say that.
I think.
Come on, Troy.
I mean,
I agree.
Would go down.
The whole system is manipulated to inflate the prices, and the breakers are the biggest reason why. In hand with Fanatics and Topps.
I think it's more. I think it's more the distribution. I think it's more the distribution.
You would rather that than
sure, James, but that's where you guys are basically in an agreement with them on. You're getting all the product and you're selling it, and then they manipulate the price on the front end, and then that allows. And I'm not saying you specifically. I'm painting with a very broad brush here. But it's like this escalation of prices over and over again. And because breakers can microtransact everything down to smaller bits, it makes it seem not as bad. Meanwhile, the price of the sealed box itself continues to climb.
I just for Well, let's keep moving that way because we have 4 or 5 of these, and we want to finish, and we're running on. I don't want to make it too long, but it's gone great. I appreciate this has been a blast, just an absolute blast, and we've had over 350 people here. So again, it's been a great time. The next one, Chris, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Yeah, it's for Junk Wax. Mike, rank these from the safest to least safe. I guess this is in terms of like long-term value. Safest to least safe. Vintage, pre-80s, sealed wax, 90s inserts, and junk wax stars.
When is the sealed wax from?
We'll say ultra modern.
Put that 4. Put 90s inserts first. Vintage second. Junk wax stars third.
All right, you did that fast. So give us your thinking why. You said vintage second, right?
Yeah.
Give us your thinking why you did that.
90s inserts are amazing. They're so I don't have any. I don't collect them at all, but there's this massive market for them, and I think a lot of them are still kind of being discovered by the industry, by collectors in the industry. And so some of them, like all of a sudden, one will just take off where it was worth $500 for a Kevin Garnett 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and all of a sudden it's worth $100,000 because it's a 90s insert and people discovered it. And they're massive. There's a massive market for it, and it's global too. Vintage pre-80s is very safe. I think that I don't know. Maybe I flip 1 and 2 because 90s inserts are very volatile.
I think 90s inserts have a longer runway than 80s.
Yeah.
They're a little more scarce. For time reasons, if anyone wants to jump in, and then we'll just keep moving through everyone doing a ranking. But
I would actually keep 90s inserts 1. I would put sealed wax 2. I'd put vintage 3, junk wax stars 4. 90 stuff, they're not making any more of it. And it's nostalgic. People, myself, I wanted those cards. I never hit them when I was, 9-10 years old. And now some of the Crusades and stuff like that, like they sell for stupid amounts of money. I'm still discovering inserts that I didn't even know existed in the 90s. And I worked at ComC. I cataloged 5 million cards while I was there, and I'm still seeing new cards from the 90s. I just think wax is super safe. Some years you just have a bad year, 2022 football. But 24 football with all the quarterbacks, like that's such a safe class.
All right. Well, I think RJL, you're up next.
No, Neo's up. Well, I have Neo.
Oh, Neo, my bad. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Neo, rank these from the most power over prices to the least power over prices. Grading companies, auction houses, manufacturers, breakers, and live sellers.
Most power over prices. Grading companies 1. Because they could literally flip the value of your card by tenfold by switching a number from a 9 to a 10. It's not even close. After that, I'll say most power over price. Manufacturers, because they can, like we just talked about, like Topps can kind of dictate how products distributed, and that gives them tremendous power over price manipulation. I'll go breakers, live sellers 3, especially the bad ones, because they use those hype-driven tactics to drive things up. And then auction houses 4, I could see arguments for that being higher, but I think most of us, at least for myself, I don't participate in the high end, and I feel that's where most of the nonsense probably happens. So maybe that one just impacts me the less, but I can see arguments to move that one up.
I agree with this list 1 through 4.
Ditto.
I would have manufacturers 1 though, especially now with the monopoly. Like they could create if their only goal was to crater this whole thing, they could do it tomorrow if they wanted to. PSA
but you could choose to ignore new products completely and never participate in it, and it wouldn't impact you at all.
It would, but I'm saying for that, like if PSA just decided to start doing the dumbest, worst stuff, I think we would all just be like, okay, we're gonna move on and use another grading service. But if Fanatics just started cratering everything, sure, we could indulge in the older wax and stuff, but I think the hobby would be screwed very quickly.
I'm looking at the grading companies more on how the value can swing just between.
Yeah, that is the point. Like that Griffey, if you send in the Griffey, it's a 4,500 or 450. I mean, they're really helping control. I would switch auction houses 3 just because I think there's a lot of manipulation going on. But I
don't
agree.
disagree.
Grading companies one.
I think breakers and live sellers impact a higher percentage of the hobby than auction houses.
That's probably true. That's probably true, especially lower end. Okay, let's Chris turn it back to you.
On to RGL. Rank the biggest growth over the next 5 years. International, I guess this is card wise. International soccer, WWE, F1, and WNBA. Biggest growth to least big growth over the next 5 years.
My heart wants to say WWE. I can't. It's soccer. That's the world's game.
There we go.
There we go. I'm not a soccer guy. I've seen the growth in it over the last 5 years. I think soccer is probably, if it hasn't already, it's going to overtake hockey. I don't know where those two rank. Next up, I'm going to say I'm going to say WWE. I'm going to say WWE. I love WWE. I love WWE cards. The high-end market for WWE is going crazy. You're going to see this Panini era stuff go nuts in a few years here. Next up, I'm going to say WNBA just because of the Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers effect. There's so much more eyes. There's so much more interest on women's sports now than there was at any point in my life. So I'm going to say WNBA. And then F1, I'm a NASCAR guy, so the F1 people can roast me. I haven't really watched much F1. It got crazy hot in 2020, and then it's kind of where it's at. It's kind of just back, kind of a niche to me.
So the soccer thing, I feel like we've been saying forever that the soccer thing is eventually going to take off
since we were kids,
and it still hasn't happened yet. To a degree, right? Like,
I guess some of the big players.
I know shit about soccer, but I just feel like every time someone has this conversation, soccer's always number one on the list, and it feels like it's been that way for 5 years. I would have put WWE number one.
It depends how we're breaking down growth, but in terms of like the high end, I would say that soccer and F1 might have been a bigger return than anything. Yeah. At least from,
but that's like the past. We're talking going forward.
No, I think the F1 market for specifically for high end is way up there. Like it's way up there. Yeah. But everything else is like not there. It's just specifically high end for F1.
So I know nothing about F1, but isn't it like the second or third most popular sport in the world?
I think so. It's huge. It's huge across the world.
And that Netflix show people follow religiously, I think.
And the card market is pretty small. So it feels like there's a disparity there that could close.
Yeah. I just feel like F1 had their moment already.
I thought so too.
That's how I feel too.
In cards specifically. Like
in terms of percentage growth though, I mean, talk to the guys at Fanatics. Like they've done thorough market research on this. Like overseas is where the biggest growth opportunity is. And that's F1 and that's soccer. So I mean,
well, why do they make
what's bigger overseas? Soccer or F1? Sorry,
soccer for sure.
I just know what I see when I walk around Fanatics Fest, and it's people losing their shit for WWE.
Because there's nothing right now. They've trickled out. So, like, I'm curious to see what the WWE market for Topps cards looks like in a year and a half when this license actually activates and they're pumping out sets every 2 months and not every 4.5 months like they are now. The only reason I think WWE stuff is way high right now, the new WWE stuff is way high, is specifically because they haven't been able to pump out sets to meet the demand of the WWE market. Like, it's starved. We're going to have a paper set come out on Friday that's pretty much the equivalent of Series 1, and it's like pre-selling at 300. I'm not going to be shocked if it goes to 400, and we're talking about a paper set. Like, so I think people are going to be very fond of the WWE era, and I could talk about this forever. The Panini era for 3 years. I think that stuff's going to go sky high, but I'm not sure, like, I know that's going to go sky high for sure. I'm not sure what the future looks like with the contract with Topps having it. So
on the resale market, single wise, I really like some of those Topps finest inserts, and they were so cheap compared to anything in Topps Chrome. The single prices for Topps Chrome seem to hold. The Topps finest prices, no one seemed to care for the Topps finest. At least what I was looking at, because I bought some, but singles.
Hockey just catching a stray on this list.
Hey, now, hockey's is where it is.
All right, we're gonna move on to our final ranking. This is for the professor. Rank these from the most overrated to the least overrated. PSA 10s, 101s, case hits, and autos.
I think this is I think they're overrated. They're all in demand. I think autos, as much as I love an on-card auto, I just think every year there's more Jason Kidd autographs. Every year there's more Mike Singletary autographs. I know you don't want to hear this, but every year for the next 40 years, there's going to be more Ohtani autographs. So, unless the player's dead or really old and they don't sign that much, I think the autos are a bit overrated. PSA 10s, 101. I'll put, a PSA 9 is still a beautiful card. And the fact that the wealthy or people or us even have got, even me, I'm a victim to it, is the PSA 10 so much more superior than a 9, 8. And the 9 and 8 are still very beautiful, great condition. 101s are case hits. I guess I want to do this backwards. I want autos to be 1. I want PSA 10s to be 2. I think there's too many 1-of-1s. I think eventually, and then I'll finally put case hits. Anybody agree, disagree?
I put PSA 10s 1.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you see it even bigger than me.
I think PSA 10 is the most overpriced thing that there is, and it's funny that this is the list. This is my video for tomorrow.
Hey now, all right.
Like autos, are you saying autos pack pulled, or are you talking about like a I don't know, like a 1970s Hall of Fame?
See, I love that stuff, yes, a lot of those older players, they're deceased, and so sure, or they don't sign that much. Like Marino and Elway from the 80s, they don't have a ton of autograph rookies. My worry is they're just going to keep signing them, and the more that are signed, the less I believe in pop count. And I just think autos today, especially of players currently, every year they're pumping out tons of autographs, and the next year pumping out tons of autographs, to the point eventually they're not going to be valued at what people think.
I'm gonna say this into my mic. Your favorite case hits are trash.
Hey now.
I'm sorry. I'm just not a Kaboom downtown kind of guy. It has to be a very, very special art on like a downtown for me to like it.
But downtown and home field advantage are the worst.
I like the niche I like the niche case hits. Like I like the White Knights. I just like the ones that everybody hates that are super cheap. It's great.
Case hits are overinflated from repackaging.
I like the home field advantages. I know there's a rarer this year, but I like
terrible.
Those.
Yeah, I was going to agree. I think case hits should be higher. I think we're going to look back.
Case hits 1 too.
Yeah,
I don't participate in all this new stuff, so the case hits are semi-foreign to me. I'm very not as familiar with these case hits because I'm not looking for them.
Someone in chat said PMGs. That's a whole different ballgame. I'm talking Kabooms, downtowns, like all that nonsense. Mangas.
What about all kings and all aces? Actually, I think those are good.
They look cool.
I don't exactly know how rare those are. So I guess I need like a year or so to see how many pop up and how many are available a year from now. They look cool. It just depends. It's one of those problems where we want to think they're rare because it's a case hit. There's only one in every case, but how many cases are out there? Like how many of each? Like if they would just serial number them and we'd have an idea of how rare they are, I think we would think much different of case hits.
All right, let's go on to our final segment for the panel, which is a 2-minute warning. Basically, each of you are going to go mano a mano against Professor Sports Cards.
Hey now.
WWE Rumble. What's it called? No, I guess it's not a Rumble.
Collision, but the Rumble works. I was just afraid to call it that.
Okay. A one-on-one Rumble against the Professor. I'm going to ask a simple question. You get 30 seconds to answer. Then Professor can rebuttal for 30 seconds, and then you will get another 30-second follow-up, and then Professor will finish off with a 30-second follow-up. So each there's 4 30-second segments per. Troy is going to go first. You ready, Troy?
Yep.
Which company has the most control over the hobby right now? 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think I've even gotten some flack in the past for being somewhat of a politician, taking the neutral stance. I don't usually like to speak in absolutes, but I think it's Fanatics, and there's not another answer. So there, I'll put my flag in the stand there.
Fanatics, Professor.
Well, I will say there is another answer, and I'm glad you took Fanatics, because if you took Collectors, I would have took Fanatics. But I do wholeheartedly believe right now, Collectors, PSA Beckett, SGC, Graded Grails, I do think they're controlling. I think they have by far the most control right now. People don't care about Fanatics. They want to send it in to PSA to get a 10 so they could sell it. So I'm going to argue, and you know, you'll have your time to, but I'll say Collectors is the most, has the most control.
Yeah,
Without
I mean,
Fanatics. Oh, sorry, I'm not even a part of this. Sorry.
no, you got. Well, I think it kind of goes back.
Chime in after.
It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like Fanatics could cook this whole thing tomorrow. Like the product is like the cards themselves. It's the cards themselves. That's what the hobby's about. We're not like, this isn't a grading hobby. This is a collecting hobby. Yes, grading is a big part of it, but I really think PSA, including SGC and Beckett, could disappear tomorrow. And for sure, there'd be a shakeup and stuff like that. But we would just simply find another company. If Fanatics starts doing, they control everything. They control the cards and the licenses of all. I don't know. I don't know how it can be anything other than that.
All right. Well, I mean, again, I'm going to stick to the point that people, once they get the card, they want it graded. And right now, Collectors, you're right. They will find another company. But right now, Collectors kind of, and you could argue the same for Fanatics, a monopoly. And they're both, I think we can agree, the head of, we're arguing here of the top of the snake. But I think people care about the grade. It shows in the difference between a 10 and a 9 or raw. And the reason the hobby has so much hype is the grading part of it, not necessarily Fanatics.
I'll tell you this is the last thing, and I'll leave it there. The amount of people in the hobby who grade cards versus the amount of people who deal with new product from Fanatics, it's not even close. It's not even close. What percentage of the entire hobby do you think grades cards? Like,
I just don't think there'll be as much hype
0.2%?
around all the people. Everyone wants these people want 10s. They want 10s. Look at the prices.
I mean, they do, and it has an impact. I'm not saying it doesn't have an impact, but I think that's where I'll leave it.
We did
like
great, because I would have argued Fanatics had you said Collectors. So I mean, I'm gonna
devil's advocate.
On all these, I'm gonna make sure I put myself on the opposite side. But I was gonna say Collectors. That was my number.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
I
this
do
is
think
like
they're 1 and 2.
This is like debate club. Professor's going to take the opposite side.
And I made it kind. I have a feeling I know what you guys are gonna take. But here's our second one.
All right, we're
that was great.
Hero. Mike is up next. On a scale of 1 to 10, how manipulated are card prices?
Manipulated by who exactly? I don't understand the question.
There was a ton of questions. I thought Neo would be more nuanced, but I guess you just got to run with it. I don't know. You make up the nuance. You tell me.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I guess I would say 5. I think that Fanatics likes the card prices being very high, and so they feed them to breakers, which puts them on videos, which gets more eyeballs on them, and then more people grade and prices go up.
All right, I'm pushing back. $13 million card sale last year puts tons of eyeballs on it. I do believe that's a manipulated sale. You could argue this $18 million sale. You could argue the G.I. Joe. I know that's Pokemon, but I'll go with Mangini. Mangini thinks it's every card. I get people sending me people shilling on eBay. eBay doesn't give a shit. So I'm going to put it at a 9. I will say, your 5 is way too low.
So if one card is manipulated, the one card, the Mr. Wonderful Idiot, if that one card is manipulated, then everything is manipulated? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't just that one card. P. Ryan, we saw his bid on that card. I don't believe it's just one card. And that one card, now Kevin O'Leary and all these guys, they're promoting it on Fox and NBA, so yeah, I get, I do find that to be, maybe it's just PR, but I find it manipulation.
It's a good photo of me, by the way, wearing the same sweatshirt today.
Oh, I love that. All right.
Neo, you're up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how trustworthy are major hobby companies right now?
6. And I'm assuming major hobby companies, we're probably going with Fanatics, Collectors Universe, eBay. I guess you could still consider Panini in there, but I'll throw it right down the middle.
I actually think Neo's being very fair. I think a 6 is not terrible. I'll say, how trustworthy are the major companies? I'll give it a 3 because I don't find any of it. You can see I'm very skeptical. And just I talk to a lot of people have insights. I trust some, Mangini's word. Mangini's not a stupid guy, I think. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 3. But Neo, I do think I expected you to give it a lot higher. But I'll say you shouldn't trust these companies because the shill bidding, because the terms of service, because they're not transparent. Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to go in with a level-headed approach and understand that this is a business and they're treating it like a business, and you have to understand the rules that they're playing by. And I think once you wrap your mind around that, it levels the playing field a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, I realize that these are businesses, they are treating it as a business, and I need to interact with them like that and side-eye what I need to side-eye. So that's where I come out on it.
That's fair. Just because you're a business doesn't mean you get to. McDonald's is a 1. I don't trust what they're saying. I don't trust their food, even though I like their French fries. I eat some McDonald's, but it's a 1. I mean, I don't trust. I know what I'm doing here, and so I would argue many companies don't operate in a trustworthy way, and I think that the corporate industry's bought into cards and they're not being transparent, and I don't really trust a lot of what do they tell us.
All right. And last one is RGL. Is breaking today ultimately good or bad for the hobby?
I think it's ultimately good. You have a lot of bad people who do it. I think that breaking gets cards into the hands of people who want to grade cards, want to sell cards, want to collect cards, whatever the end user is for that. I think it's a net good. I think there's a lot of things that can be fixed, like any sector of the hobby. I think that would be my take.
I don't think breaking's going away. I think there's a good way, I think you've built a great community. I'll even give Gio some love. He's not out there making backyard break type videos. He's not pushing it to the youth. And my problem with breakers, a lot of that side, the backyard breaks or whoever else you want to throw in there, they are definitely pushing it to the youth. And, it is a bit of a gamble or a risk. And I just think it's a little addicting. It's an entry point. And so I know there's a place for breakers, but I don't love it.
I think it's the one sector of the hobby that probably does need more regulation, and that's going to be crazy coming from a breaker. I just think that there's a lot of pitfalls. I think there's a lot of people who fall prey to it. I do think there's a lot of breakers who, do very well based off of FOMO, based off of lack of knowledge of what people are getting into, things of that extent. We're always as transparent as possible. We tell people before they buy into a break to watch and hang out with our community, see if you like our community, see if you like the style of breaks that we run before you buy into anything. So I think that there needs to be more guardrails in place.
By the way, RGL wins his best talker. He does it for a living. Boy, you crushed. Is breaking today ultimately bad? It is. I'm going to go a little harder. It is bad because it ruined the box prices. Topps views them as distribution. Topps wants to gamble. And so Panini and the others, they're leaning into it too much to where the allocation's all there. That's not the breaker's fault. But I do think it takes away from some of the collectors, the hobbyists, the people that don't want to buy into breaks, and breaking is normally a losing proposition. So I love how you filled your time.
I think in a healthy marketplace where every card manufacturer can print licensed cards, we'd actually have some competition. We wouldn't allow one big company to control the flow of product and where it goes. You wouldn't have seemingly breakers having endless amounts, and the EQLs having 3 cases for sale for 100,000 people who enter. So I think ultimately the distribution model right now in the industry is highly flawed. And I think that it's a byproduct of one company having all the licenses.
And this is why people like RGL respect him, because clearly tonight he said how he felt. He was not just marketing the hobby. Frank, I don't know if you want to hop on. We kind of ran late, so maybe Frank, do you have a question of the night? Or maybe you threw it up. My question, it's Inca99. My question, with all the gambling, breaking, and obsession with unrealistic costs, prices, and flipping, is the hobby even good for kids anymore? I think it brings them closer to the game. I think it can add excitement with family. I hate how it's being marketed and pushed. Anybody else?
I think handled correctly, kids are probably learning more real life skills interacting in the hobby day to day than they are in school.
I hate the skills they're learning. It's, the reason I like trading with my uncle. I like trading with a friend where we both want each other to win. I've never liked the aspect of sports cards where now we're going to negotiate. Now I have to get you. And that's not how I live my life. I want us both. I play fantasy sports. I want more trades later. Normally my trades are even. I want it to work out for both of us, where the part I don't like for these kids is that that's not what they're being taught. They're being taught kind of a sketchy way to do business. I have to make more money. I have to flip. I got to use my innocence to get free cards. I don't like what's being taught. And I'll definitely argue at school, we're teaching math and reading and social skills and empathy. That's definitely not what's being taught in sports cards.
I mean, they're learning negotiation tactics. They're learning social skills. They're learning money management.
They're learning how to better the other person.
This isn't something that
I would push back, because I think when I was a kid, there's so many more segments in the hobby today than there was when I was a kid. There's just so many more ways to be involved in the hobby. Kids trade nights. Have you ever been to one of those? Those are awesome for kids. I would have absolutely loved that as a kid, and that didn't exist. Those sort of things didn't exist back then. Whereas I think there's so many more segments for kids. What you're saying, Professor, is true. There's definitely like ways you can be guided into down the dark side as a kid, but I also think there's better opportunity. There's a lot more opportunities to enjoy it than there was back then.
I have a question for the panel. Do you agree with me that the industry is drastically different than it was in 2018?
Hell yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well,
I asked that to tell this story. I was at the National representing COMC in Cleveland at the IX Center in 2018. I believe this is the year. I was talking to my friend from Florida, Mealy Pops. We're just shooting the breeze. Two kids walk up, probably looked like they were 11, 12 years old. And he's like, let me know if you need anything. And we just thought they were kids just looking at his high-end display. Kid asked him, can you take $4,800 for the LeBron? Me and him glance at each other, and like we didn't want to bust out laughing in case they were serious, but like I could tell like he was holding back the laughter. And he sold this kid a LeBron for $4,900, and the kid had cash on hand. So this isn't something, the kids nowadays in the industry that are exposed to the gambling, exposed to the investing and the flipping and blah blah blah. I saw this when I worked at COMC in 2016, 2017, 2018. So.
I mean, that's got escalated to a ton, and it makes me sad because I fell in love with cards, not the money side. And I guess that's why some part I have a problem with. I love fucking cards. It's about cards. It's not about the flip or the cash. I know it's your business. I know it's also Chris's business. I'm not, of course, but it's just, and I know you both love cards to the end. You actually love cards, but it bothers me that we're now having people get in because it's a dollar amount instead of loving cards. Well, we can't hear you, Trike. I don't know what happened. All right, maybe it's just me. Oh, maybe it's just me. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
It was me. I'm sorry.
Sure. Oh, I was just saying it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows back then, though. Like I told the story when I was a kid. I opened a pack of cards. I bought one single pack. I pulled the rookie QB RPA, and the dealer just absolutely cooked me on it. He's like, "Oh, I'll give you one pack. I'll give you another. How about I give you another pack? You just give me that RPA." I was like, "Oh, great, another pack." It's because there wasn't YouTube back then. There wasn't information. There wasn't eBay comps or anything like that. So I don't know. There's definitely negatives to it, but there's a lot of positives as well. Like these kids, like trust me, I know I deal with these kids. They're really annoying a lot of the time, but I think it's cool that they actually have this information.
Problem.
They know what the heck they're talking about instead of just getting worked by dealers all the time.
Good answer.
If anything, kids are working us more than the dealers are working.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yep.
These kids talk to me like I'm just a piece of garbage.
But it's what the hobbies, it's what it's promoting, and I don't like it. I really don't. I know you're saying it teaches some good skills. I just also think it teaches some how can I grind this? How can I grift this? How can I
mean, it all comes down to who you're being taught by and how you're being
fair. Very fair. On that note, I absolutely love this. I thought it went as well as it could. You see, I put a lot of effort and you guys delivered, and it was absolutely a blast. I hope you had fun. I hope chat had fun. I'd like to, have one of you, go one by one, just closing comments or thoughts, and then we'll, almost 2.5 hours. So why don't we start? Junk Waxer probably got the least in tonight. So Mike, why don't we start with you? And thank you for coming on, man. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, my pleasure. Just final thoughts. This was a lot of fun. I don't agree with everything Jason says, but he puts on a damn good live stream. This is really, really good. Well organized, great panel. Great job.
I appreciate that a lot, Mike. We'll go to Trike next.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on. This was great. I don't know what else.
It was so fun. It was really fun.
This was good. I think, especially considering, hey, like he was kind of saying, claps to you and Chris too. Considering this was the first one, really smooth, well done. I don't know how you guys were managing all that different stuff, so it's only going to get better from here. So I'm excited.
Hey now, My nemesis, Neo. Neo, you did great. Go ahead.
No, this was a good time. Shout out to the man behind the screen, Frank, Jason, and Chris for throwing this thing together. I agree. I did not know what to expect. Like if this, you get this many people on a live stream, sometimes it could be chaotic. But shout out to you three for putting this together and semi-organized, and shout out to the panel for everyone kind of relatively staying in their lane and not everyone talking over each other, because this could have very easily gone completely sideways with 6 people on a call together, and it didn't. So
I appreciate you coming on. I also thought you had some really good answers, and even though I get at you, I thought you had great answers. James, Run Good Life, star of the show. I thought you crushed. Thank you for coming on. I had a bunch of fun.
So I think Neil was the star of the show because as watching and listening to him for years now, he can talk on anything. Everything he says comes off as well educated, like he knows literally everything. So for me, I thought he was the MVP.
Neo or Gio?
I was going to do it too. I was going to do it.
The most frustrating thing about your lives is I don't get to tune in, and then I kind of skip around when I watch a replay. I'd rather watch you live than watch a replay. So you and I are live at the same time, or
that's right.
I don't always get to catch everything, so it was great to get to interact with you. We've been talking about wanting to do more content, anyways, and that's more on me and my schedule. Is insane. Crystal, I've never actually gotten to talk to you ever, except in some comments. I think that you are one of the best storytellers in the industry.
No doubt.
I worked at ComC for 8 years. I think I've seen every card, and just the way that you talk about cards is fascinating to me. Trike, I think that you produce some of the most honest content when it comes to buying and selling. You too, Chris. But Trike, I see so much of this content where it's just like, in your lane, where it's just like, I bought this, but it's no end result. Like, okay, then you just sold to Arena Club. Like, it's not as compelling as what you're doing. So I thought this was really great. I'd love to be back at some point and do this.
Hell yeah. No, I love hearing. I hope you guys all to have you all on again for this, because I want to change up the panel a bit, but recurring, you guys did. It was so fun. And Chris, I can't say thank you enough. You're the perfect guy to host it. You're the perfect guy to add the credibility. I just got $20 from Colfax CC. Thank you so much. I know there were some other fight artists I didn't get to. Some people donated memberships. Thank you so much. It was a really busy moving show, but Chris, we'll let you take us out. What did you think? How did it go? And thank you so much.
Where's the poll for chat to vote who did the best?
I thought you want me to put that up real quick? I can put it up real quick. All right.
I only gave Neo 1,000 points at the very beginning, and I forgot to give points the rest of the time. Super fun. Chris. Super fun. RGL, great to meet you. Mike and Neo and Troy, I've met you before, but it's really, really cool, Jason, that you bring some of these people together for.
Isn't that so neat how that worked out? I'm really thankful.
Yeah, it's very cool. So thanks for letting me.
How did you feel? How did you feel while I put these in? How did you feel about the flow, the show? What were your takeaways?
Great. It went longer than I thought. Well, I wasn't sure I forgot how long we wanted it to go. Was it an hour?
When it ran about 15-20 minutes longer.
Yeah.
The collision went well. We really argued back and forth at the collision.
Yeah, I think the collision is worthy. And we sort of had to rush the last two. But yeah, I thought the collision was sort of the best.
I can only put 4 people on the poll, so I'm not going to put myself, Trike, RGL, Neo. I can only put 4, so I think it's fair enough to keep me off. But I started the poll. I would love to add myself, but I don't know. I'll give you a minute or two to vote.
I can right now.
I think we all did a great job, and I think we all had fun. We're all winners. That's what matters.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone gets a participation trophy.
It was a blast. We had 350 people, and it really was so fun. So I hope to do it again. I'm going to let you vote for about a minute. And gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to say goodbye now, but thank you so much for being here.
Yep. See you guys.
Absolutely.
All right, that was great. I make sure you give them a thanks. Thank you to the viewers. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had as much fun as I did and we did. In my head, I put a lot of effort into the flow and hoping it would spark reaction and conversation, and it did. It did, and it went as well as I could have thought in my brain. Let's see. I'm going to end the poll, so if you want to vote now. We'll see who's winning this thing. Hit the like button if you haven't. Thank you so much for the donations. I can't see them all in front of me right now. Thank you for getting the memberships. I'm going to end this thing in about 10 seconds. So let's see. Normally it's really bad at showing the poll results, so I'll do that. And yeah, I would have gave it to him also. And then it's a tight race between number 2 and 3. And then Trike, they have you struggling, but you were kind of back and forth on a few answers. So maybe that's why. I'll add it to the screen now. I'm going to be back live tomorrow. We'll talk about the meeting. We have callers. I think Mike with the lawsuit. I don't know if he has many good updates, but he has some updates. Collectors MD. I asked Orlando and I asked Dan Vintage to come up with questions for Collectors MD because they're very skeptical. So they have some questions for me. I'll ask them on Wednesday. RGL, I'm not on there. I'm not saying I would have won. RGL did great. They all did great. And I just can't say thank you enough. Have a great rest of your Monday. Thank you for tuning into the first Hobby Collision. We hit 350 at peak. That's the biggest show I've ever done live. And I can't say thank you enough. It was a really, it was just great. It was fun. Not to overuse that word, but it was fun. Sven, Big Mac, KK, Uncle Jorm, Ziggy was here the whole way. Beyond Proof is back. Reef. I'm Cheesecake. Frank. Shout out to Frank. Did I see Rhonda out there? I'm not sure if I saw Rhonda today. Oh, that's right. It's a Monday. It's not Tuesday. Rhonda, some love. And everyone have a great night. I'm ending it here. Anything in the starred? Gifted? Yeah, 20, that. All right. Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you to everyone. Collect. What was his name? Colfax CC. Thank you, bro.